Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. Today we have Chelsea and Brentford both kicking us off today for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. I'm really excited to have the football back today. I've just noticed actually that Liverpool have got themselves a second in that early kickoff, so let me update that scroll bar at the bottom. But welcome back. It has been a little while, hasn't it? We've had the international break. I've had lots of things going on personally as well, so it's been an interesting few weeks. And it should be an exciting game. Considering as well, last time, what you've got to remember is, last time actually, Chelsea and Brentford was one of the games that actually caused a lot of drama. Of course, a lot has changed for both sides in that time. But, you know, international break has meant that a few players can come back. Some are a little bit more fit. Some are a little bit in better form. So anything can happen. But Chelsea versus Brentford, that's what we're here for today. Afternoon to Luke, Stacey, Oliver and Real Tom. Real Tom, of course, coming in with a nice little bit of banter saying that... You've picked a boring game to watch. I mean, I do believe, Tom, you just watched the Liverpool game, didn't you? And believe me, I have been doing other stuff, and even I was bored with that one on. So you definitely picked a boring one there, mate. But great to see you. Hope you are doing well. And afternoon to Oliver. And I'm good, thank you, Stacey. How are you? And I hope all of you guys have had a good few weeks. It has been a little while, hasn't it? And we've got plenty to talk about today. Chelsea going through their takeover. We are down to the final, what is it? How many people? Maybe the final 5-10 people that are able to buy Chelsea Football Club. They're moving proceedings along steadily. And of course, there are a few that Chelsea fans don't want at the helm for the foreseeable future. I think that's the best way to say it. But we'll get onto that in a little bit. We will get onto that. Tom says he enjoyed it, and Tom's going to be watching Leeds versus Southampton. That could be fiery. And Tom thought it was boring because Newcastle weren't playing. Exactly. Who are Newcastle playing today? Or are they playing tomorrow? I can't quite remember. It's all sort of snuck up on me, this the return from the international break. I was quite happy enjoying myself. It's Tottenham that Newcastle United have. I even forgot to do my FPL, so that'll tell you how much I haven't been paying attention to anything that's been going on. But today, Chelsea versus Brentford. Get your score predictions in. I'm going to give my score prediction once we've gone through the teams, and of course, this will be a lot different to the game that we saw. When was it? About December time, November time? At that point when Brentford met Chelsea, Chelsea were battling at the top of the league, battling for first place, and Brentford was still on that new season flurry of form. And so a lot has changed. Brentford at the time were maybe 8th, 7th. They now sit in 15th place. They do now sit in 15th place, which is a little bit more difficult than or maybe not where they would have wanted to have been, having had that start of the season. But don't get me wrong, I'm sure Thomas Frank and anyone else who is involved with Brentford Football Club, had someone said to them, where do you want to be by the end of the season? They would have absolutely taken 15th, because it has been a decent first season. Ivan Toney's bagged himself, 10, 11 goals this season. So a decent opening season for him in the Premier League as a full-time Premier League goal scorer and striker. So lots to play up for Brentford, and a win today will definitely do them a world of good. I would like to see Southampton beat Leeds, says Stacey, and Newcastle is tomorrow. Chelsea 5, Brentford 0 is what Real Tom is going with. I like the enthusiasm. Afternoon, Max, who says, I'm down watching non-league local, so can't tune in today. No worries, Max. Enjoy some non-league football. And Stacey's saying, come on, you Spurs, for tomorrow's game. Cannot wait. Stacey's looking forward to the return of Spurs, who maybe started to find a little bit of form themselves. But let's swap over and let's have a look at the team lineups for today. So here we are. This is the lineups. That's maybe a little bit too zoomed out for you. So let me just zoom that one in. Is that perfect? That looks a little bit better for you. There we are. Much better, much better. And can I zoom in a little bit further? No, I can't. That was the easy answer to that one. No, I can't. Right, there we are. That should be okay. Let me have a look at my phone. Give me 2 secs whilst I adjust and make sure that you guys can read the lineups. Yes, you can. I do apologise if someone's sight is worse than mine and you can't see this, but I'll be reading the teams out anyway. So you don't have to worry about that one bit. So here are the 2 teams for today, and it looks like a change of formation for the home side, Chelsea, today. It looks like it's going to be a shift to a 4-3-3. It'll be interesting to see if that actually does happen for Chelsea Football Club today. I think it will potentially still be a 5 at the back with Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger as the 3 at the back. Maybe Alonso playing as that left wing back with Hakim Ziyech dropping in. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll see how it plays during this game. It's very, very interesting, isn't it, when you look at this Chelsea side, because we have got a few players starting to get themselves back in. A few weeks ago, how excited were we all when we saw Reece James? I'm sure England fans and people who support English football, I'm sure they were excited to see Reece James back because we all know the talents of the Chelsea fullback. But he picked up that injury, and I think today would have been a perfect opportunity for Reece James to play against the side that potentially you can get wide around and move the ball quickly around. I definitely think that playing Reece James today would have been a beneficial thing. He is on his way back, I do believe. Yes, he is. As you can see on the bench there, he is sat on the bench. So I'm sure that will be, only for emergencies sort of thing. That Reece James does come on and offers that width, because we haven't really, since the Frank Lampard era, seen Chelsea play in a 4-3-3 similar to the formation that is set out by SofaScore there, which obviously gives me a little bit of a funny stomach, a funny taste in my mouth even. And that's because Frank Lampard, as good as he was for that first season, the second season it went flat and it looked very one-dimensional. And that was the problem with Chelsea. They looked very flat, one-dimensional, and it caused that decline in Chelsea over the course of maybe a month or 2 months, and they were very easy to suss out. Thomas Tuchel, of course, is a completely different manager to Frank Lampard. We've seen how Lampard has struggled to get to grips at Everton as well. So he has obviously done something which, to me, looking at this side, could really benefit Chelsea, and maybe what we needed a few seasons ago, and that is playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that midfield. And the reason I love Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that midfield, if I can get my words out, is because how good he is at carrying the ball. Whilst we're used to seeing our Kovacic's and our Jorginhos, neither of those 2 players really offer what what Ruben Loftus-Cheek does. Mateo Kovacic is probably the closest in the sense that he can pick up the ball and move the ball fast, drive through into some space and do well that way. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek, it's his strength, it's his power. It's absolutely everything about Ruben Loftus-Cheek that means that he can just glide past players and really, really do a good job. Afternoon, Umar. It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well, mate. And Oliver's going 3-1 to Chelsea. So Oliver and Tom both back in Chelsea for today's game. I'll get into mine in a little bit. But that is the positive about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He bullies players off the ball and he makes it look difficult for players to get the ball back off him. And we've not seen the best of Ruben Loftus-Cheek even this season. But over the course of the last, 6, maybe even 5 months, we've seen a step up, haven't we? We've seen a real step up. Shah, afternoon to you. He says, Sam, sorry I will not be in the stream today as I'm celebrating my birthday. I hope that's okay. Of course it's okay. And happy birthday, Shah. I hope you're having a great day, dude. And best wishes for your holiday as well. And yeah, hope you do enjoy, mate. Absolutely fine, mate. You go enjoy and enjoy your birthday. Staying away because my team is terrible, says Umar. Yeah, it has been a poor occasion for Manchester United, hasn't it, in recent weeks. Back to Chelsea, though. The other two that are allegedly joining Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that midfield is N'Golo Kante and Mason Mount. And so what it looks like to me is that Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante are going to start that press for Chelsea. They are going to be the people who are starting the press. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek is really there, to put the body in the way, but also to carry the ball. So it looks like he's going to almost do the Jorginho and the Kovacic role in one go. And then it frees us up to have Kante, to have Mason Mount in those midfield positions, and who knows, it could maybe really work really well. I think this is a big game for him. Brentford, of course, are a very more than capable side, but they are a side that, on paper, you look at that team, you look at the amount of money Chelsea have spent on that team, you go, Chelsea must win this. This is a must-win for Chelsea. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek has a lot to do here because of that. He'll have a little bit of pressure on him. Let's see how he plays. Let's see how he performs. And hopefully we get a good result today. We move on, though, to the three up front. And it's a return for the German Timo Werner playing off the left-hand side for today. And I must say, I'm very grateful for Timo Werner. I think he is a good footballer. I don't think he's the best of finishers, but I think he's a good footballer. And if we can start to use him to the best of our abilities, it would be absolutely fantastic. Because Timo Werner, I have no doubts in my mind that there is talent in there. I'm going with a 3-1 Chelsea. Good luck. Thanks, Shah. Thank you, and thanks for the positive stuff. And of course, we'll see you on another stream. But back to Timo Werner. Werner, for me, he, like Oliver says, he plays a lot of Fortnite. But I think he's got that level. I just think he's got that step up, and I think he can do it. I really do. Yes, he scored one Premier League goal this season, but I just root for him. I think it's because he's so lovely. Like, the reason I don't root for Lukaku and the reason I root for him is because he is lovely. Werner, he keeps working hard, and it's been pretty public about the fact that he's struggled in front of goal over the course of the last few seasons. But he's definitely for me, a player who's got the right attitude and the right work rate to really shine in a Chelsea shirt. He just needs the opportunities. And speaking of a player who needed the opportunities and struggled under Thomas Tuchel at the beginning, Hakim Ziyech is the man that starts on the right-hand side for today. Ziyech, in the last week, has been very public about the fact he struggled in playing with a 3-at-the-back formation, saying that he's never played in it before, he's always played as a wide right-hand side player, and he needed time to adjust. And I think what we've seen since those games against Spurs in the Carabao Cup is Hakim Ziyech not at his tip-top best, but we've seen him very good. And I think Chelsea, if they can continue to get that out of him, I think Chelsea have got a player on their hands today. And yes, he might be a little bit older than the other signings that they brought in, the Kai Havertz, the Timo Werners, those players that came in over that transfer window following the transfer ban. But he definitely has a lot of talent. And, who knows? His game isn't based on pace, is it? So a player like him can continue playing until he's 32, 33, 34. So Chelsea could have a good player with a little bit of longevity. Finally, up front, talking about another player who is starting to seize that opportunity is Kai Havertz. And to be honest with you, I think for Kai Havertz, the international break came at a bad time for him. And I don't mean that in terms of, going to play for his international team. I'm sure he absolutely loved and adored that. But he just started to find a good little bit of form. in the international before the internationals. I'm not sure how he got on over in the internationals. That's why I've just picked up my phone to have a look at, because I think it will be interesting to see if he did manage to get himself a goal. He got a goal against Israel with a man-of-the-match performance. The game against the Netherlands, he was unable to find the score sheet. But prior to that, he scored in Chelsea's 1-0 win against Newcastle, controversially, of course. He scored and got an assist against Norwich and scored twice against Burnley, as well as getting a 7.4 match rating in the Carabao Cup final, where he had a goal disallowed, and scoring against Lille in the first leg of the Champions League last 16. So he's starting to come into a little bit of form. He now finds himself on, I believe, 6 goals this season with 2 assists, which of course isn't the greatest for a Premier League striker. But for a player who looks that far away from the Chelsea team at the beginning of the Frank Lampard era, and to be honest with you, for the most part of last season, I think this season has been much improved by Kai Havertz. I'm hoping by the end of the season we can get that 6.87 rated a little bit higher. Hopefully Havertz can get it up to maybe 7. I think 7's fair. If he can get that up to a 7 match rating, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think that would be a fair representation of how far Kai Havertz has come this season. He's starting to look a little bit more like the complete package. He slows the ball down when the ball comes around him, and I think he will be vital to Chelsea. Don't forget as well, he's only 22. He's the same age as myself. He's very, very much a young whippersnapper, and I'm not just saying that because he's the same age as me, but he's very much a player that is going to have that longevity for his career. He will be in the Premier League or at the top of his game for at least the next 6, could potentially be even 10 years of football. So don't rule him out just yet. Absolutely not. But let's just have a quick scan over that Chelsea bench. Like I mentioned earlier on, Reece James is the man who, I pointed out, who is back on the bench, and it's great to see him back on the bench. Andreas Christensen, linked with Barcelona following his inability to sign a contract with Chelsea. He wants a lot of money, does Andreas Christensen, something like £400,000 a week, which would make him the top paid player at the club, because with him being a free transfer, you don't have to pay for a fee in that sense. For example, with Lukaku paying the 90 million, part of that money that would then go towards Christensen, say if you paid 30 million for him, can now go towards Christensen's wage directly rather than paying it to the other club, which is why Christensen, Salah, these other players are able to try and get a better price. Trying to get a better price in terms of their wages. Then there's also Malang Sarr, who's had a decent season so far this season following his return from Porto last season. Reece James, of course, who we touched on earlier. Mateo Kovacic and Jorginho, the two we spoke about earlier, about how they aren't playing. But I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek can do what both of those do and combine it into one fantastic role. Ross Barkley, Saul, who was impressed in the last few games he has played, and Romelu Lukaku as well, with Chelsea's missing players being Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ben Chilwell and Christian Pulisic. Pulisic did score a hat-trick whilst on international duty for the United States of America, who we will be facing in the World Cup this year. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. Afternoon, Wiki Tiki. How are we doing? And let's talk Brentford. So Brentford, it's just updated itself. I don't know when that updated. I'm sure someone else was paying a lot more attention than I was. But it has updated itself so that Brentford will be playing a 5 at the back. It was going with a 4 at the back previously. But this is the team that they are going with Raya starting in goal, with Henry, Pinnock, Janssen, Ayer and Rasmussen starting as the 4 at the back. And then, probably the big talking point, and the man who I put on the the thumbnail, mainly because he's definitely the best known Brentford player, but also the player who is a certified match winner. Christian Eriksen, 2 goals over the international break. Brilliant to see him back, enjoying his football again. And, everyone has sympathy for Christian Eriksen. He's been through so much, and what a brilliant story it is that he is now back playing Premier League international football as well for Denmark and playing for Brentford. Really, really good stuff. Excited to see him play today. I think it'll be the first time I've seen him play since the Euros. So I'm excited to see him play. And he'll be joined in that midfield with Christian Norgard and Vitaly Janelt. And then the two up front, Ivan Toney and Brian Mbeumo. Ivan Toney, I don't know if anyone's seen this. Why does Ivan Toney call out his own team literally every opportunity he gets? He will what's the word? He'll slander his own team. Someone went up to him and was like, "Oh, what do you do? What do you drive?" And I don't know if this is a joke. And what do you do? How do you drive that car? And he went, "Oh, I'm a footballer." And they went, "Who for?" And he went, "No one exciting." And this isn't the first time that Ivan Toney's done this. And for a player who, yes, he's bagged 11 goals this season, but has been very hit and miss with his form, it did surprise me a little bit that he's going, "Nothing exciting." Well, if you're not playing for an exciting team, Ivan, make sure you score more goals. Get yourself that move. Prove to people that you deserve that move, rather than scoring penalties and one goal in a game where you're losing 3-0. Make sure you get yourself and carry this team and put in a good performance. I just didn't like that about Ivan Toney, and as I'm sure we're all aware, I've been very vocal about the motivational problems of Chelsea Football Club. So when I see someone like Ivan Toney do a similar thing to, well, not a similar thing, but, well, yeah, maybe even just a similar thing to the likes of Romelu Lukaku, it does not sit very well with me, I must say. And there is the bench for Thomas Frank's side with Fernandes, Sorensen, Zanka, Sergi Canos on the bench, Batista, Godos, Visa, Jensen and Fosu Henry. And then if we just have a look at the table, and when we go back to the main screen, you will see that Liverpool did get themselves a 2-0 win, got themselves off to the best possible start following the international break, and put that little bit of pressure on Manchester City, who do face Burnley in a little while. In exactly 8 minutes, that game will be getting underway. And so that does put them 2 points ahead at the top of the table. The first time they've been at the top of the table since the beginning of December, when even Chelsea was still up there and up in range. Chelsea, of course, will be wanting to continue and keep themselves away from Arsenal, but they've got 2 games in hand in Liverpool. Try and close that gap to them. Keep them as close as possible. Chelsea, of course, drawn a lot more games than the 2 around them, which has been a little bit of their Achilles heel, not maybe being clinical enough, but they do have a very, very good defensive record, don't they, Chelsea? A very, very good defensive record. And as you can see, Brentford, how does it look for them today? How important is it for them to get a win? Well, Everton, on 27 games played, they did win the last couple of times that they went out and played, actually. But Leeds find themselves on 29 points. So that's probably their direct rival. Watford on 30 games, having lost again today. Burnley are probably the only ones that Brentford should be really worried about. 3 games in hand, and potentially if they pick up a point today, then who knows? They maybe could get themselves out of it, but it looks like a big task for Burnley. But for me, if there's any team that can do it, it will be Burnley, because I think Sean Dyche knows what he's doing. Maybe a little bit unpopular there, but I think if there's one team that can go on a little bit of a run down in that bottom half, I definitely think it could be the Burnley side. Do you think Frank Lampard will take Everton down, Sam? Oh, I don't know. That is a hard question, Wiki. I think it's getting very close, but the 3 games in hand at the moment are just making me see Everton staying up, because look, they're on the same point, they're on the same games as Burnley, who are probably the ones that they have to be most worried about realistically, and they've got 4 extra points. So from those games in hand which they've got to play, they've somehow got to claw back 4 points. It's going to be difficult for Burnley, and I think those 2 are the favourites to go down. I think Leeds, you know, with Jesse Marsh, they might be able to get their asses in gear, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We will have to wait and see. And we will go back to here then. We are about 5 minutes away from kickoff. Do let me know your score predictions for today's game. I'll get myself up with a nice little... I need to log myself in so that you guys could not see any of my information. Hasn't it? This has gone very, very well. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. The microphone falls apart just as I'm doing it. Hopefully this isn't too loud for you guys. Right, there we are. There we are. What is going on? Right, there we are. Hello. Hopefully this is working now. I do apologise if it hasn't been working in the first place, but I do think it just cut out then. It's having an absolute mare today, this microphone, isn't it? Jesus. Having an absolute mare. But let me get your score predictions in for today's game, guys. As you can see, those are the games scrolling across to the bottom as well. Let me know which game you'll be watching for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. I am going to go with, obviously, watching Chelsea. That wasn't what I was going to say, but it sounded stupid in my head. I am going to go with, I think Chelsea have got a really, really good opportunity here to not close the gap to the teams above them, but just make sure that actually they're in range. They are in range. That is the hope for Chelsea, isn't it? That they are in range. And who knows, eh? Who knows what they can do today? I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be 3-0 to Chelsea. I think Brighton will come out. They'll come out fighting. They'll be looking for it. But I'm going with 3-0 to Chelsea. Jay plays. Change your name again, Jay back. I like it. I like it. Picasso, innit? 5 minutes. Yes, not too far away. Not too far away. Talking about rubbish after you got packed by Palace. Does he have the balls to admit that he's a scrub? That is the question. I don't know why Frank Lampard responded in such a manner following that FA Cup defeat to Crystal Palace, because it did look like a little kid had just, it just wasn't the Frank Lampard we know, and maybe there's something to do with that extra pressure in there for him. I don't know. But it was a weird decision to come out and be like, oh yeah, they're nothing good sort of thing. Oh, well, it was a free kick or whatever, a fluky goal, this, that and the other. And you're like, Frank, lad, Frank, just, be gracious in defeat. Be gracious in defeat. And maybe it's just because he has such high standards for his own side that he's, a little bit annoyed. But he's got to give credit where credit's due there to Palace, because Palace were good on the day. They were good on the day. Unfortunately, of course, the injury to, Andros Townsend for Everton really did end up being what changed the game a little bit, took the momentum, took the sting, took the zip out of Everton's play. But what a sore loser, eh? What a sore loser. Lampard is arrogant because he's privileged. Look how early he got the Chelsea job, even after he failed at Derby. I always think that Lampard shouldn't have got the Chelsea job. He didn't get it on merit, whereas I think he needed that extra stepping stone. He did an okay job, didn't he? He definitely did an okay job at Derby. That's the word. He definitely did an okay job at Derby. Don't get me wrong. He did okay. He beat Leeds, got himself to that final, which was kind of unexpected. But that, for me, was no way near enough a CV for anything other than actually mid-table mediocrity or, a smaller Premier League side. I hate to use the word smaller, but, a team lower down in the table, more accurately. And I think if it had gone from Derby to Everton, where they were at the time, I think people would have already had question marks. But for him try and develop a relegation battle and get himself out, I don't know. I just don't think it was right for Lampard anyway. And it's just Lampard on Palace. Average goal, fluke, average goal. He needs actual pedigree. He needs to humble himself and go take coaching courses in Europe. I think it might suit Lampard just to sit out and just. I was gonna make a joke and be like, don't be a manager, but I think he definitely got something there. You don't become that good a footballer, or maybe you do. Maybe you do become that good a footballer and be crap at managing. But who knows, eh? Who knows, eh? There's all love for Frank Lampard here. I was gutted when he got sacked from Chelsea. Don't think it was the right way to go about it, but that's a different conversation, isn't it? That is a different conversation. And do be sure, guys, if you haven't already and you are enjoying this stream, we've come on nice and early for you guys. Do be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Currently in an ad break here I am, so I will be about 30 seconds behind because of how it works when you use a Fire Stick and when you do it online, because unfortunately not everything is dead quick, but we will be live in a few moments time, so make sure you've smashed that like button for us and hit subscribe, and I'll keep you up to date with everything going on across the games tonight, and whatever else may be going on. So 5 games for us to sit back and enjoy. 5 games for us to sit back and enjoy. And let me know, which one are you most excited for and which one will you be trying to tune into this afternoon. And we will be getting underway in a short moment at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea playing in their familiar blue kit as they take the knee. And Brentford, playing in their away yellow kit. I'm sure we will be underway. And there we are, underway in the first half today. So let's see what happens. How will the international break have affected the two sides? It'll be interesting to see because, of course, as Liverpool proved earlier, it's maybe not as easy to come back when you've had lots of players going out on international duty and causing problems here, there and everywhere. Or in Mo Salah's case, that's good play there by Christian Eriksen to dart into a little bit of space. He tries to skip away from Kante, but Kante's done his defensive duty. Brentford making a sharp start here. And that's just a foul there. And I've just remembered as well, I've actually added a crowd sound thing. So I'm going to have to go off you guys and tell me how loud the background noise is. If I just move this down. Let me turn it on for you. And you're just going to have to let me know how loud it actually is. If you guys can hear it or if it's overpowering me. It would be great if you could tell me. Let's have a listen through my phone. It would be great if you could tell me. Brentford do have a free kick here. And that's gone over. Christian Eriksen, opportunity there for him to get on the score sheet. Why can't I hear this background noise very well? There we are. I think that's working now. Here's Mason Mount. Drops it back into Ziyech. Ziyech is going to cut in on that left foot, and that is easily saved. I'm trying to get it working for us, Oliver. It should be working. It is registering that it's working, so it's just a background sound. There we are. Lovely. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's very hot in my flat today. I've not been able to get my radiator working, and now I feel like it's working too well as I'm sat here ultimately sweating whilst I watch Chelsea versus Brentford. Here's Antonio Rudiger. Perfect. Good. Thank you, Oliver. Appreciate it. Alonso back into Rudiger again. Brentford's putting on a little bit of a press at this current moment in time. Aspilicueta flicks it round the corner there, looking for Mason Mount. And I'm intrigued to see, I mentioned it earlier, I am wondering what formation Chelsea are playing. Whether it'll be a 3 at the back, or whether it'll be a 5 at the back at the moment, I'm not too sure. don't really know. Alonso definitely seems to be looking like he's going to try and come up this left-hand side as quickly as possible. We know that Alonso maybe doesn't suit that typical fullback role as well as Azpilicueta and Reece James and Ben Chilwell, the other fullbacks in the Chelsea squad, which does make me think that he might do that, might play with a 3 at the back. Mendy clips the ball there, looking for Alonso, but Timo Werner's flicked it out of play. I think it is Chelsea throw in here, just caught a glimpse of it, and we've just come up with a stat there. It was his first international appearance as Christian Eriksen since his cardiac arrest last summer, scoring 2 goals in 2 appearances. So great to see Christian Eriksen back among the goals for Denmark. Here's Mason Mount, rolls it into Kai Havertz there, who's going to spin out and drop it to Hakim Ziyech. Azpilicueta is quite high up on this right-hand side. Here is Azpilicueta, who flicks it down the line for Mason Mount. Mount's only got Kante in the middle, though, and that's taken a deflection and gone behind for the first Chelsea corner of the game. Mason Mount's got himself a nice new haircut as well over the international break. I'm not going to lie to you, I did not see any of the England games over the international break. I, to be honest, couldn't be bothered. I could not be bothered with the international break this time. I usually like watching England whenever I get the opportunity, but unfortunately I just didn't fancy it. And from the following corner here goes Mbeumo, Brian Mbeumo. He's got support by Ivan Toney. He whips it across. Ivan Toney, just in front of the big Englishman there. Can he keep it on? He's just about kept it on according to the referee, and Alonso just caught off guard a little bit. Cleared eventually, though, by Chelsea, and Mason Mount, who, surprisingly, with his new haircut, looks like a little bit like Ben Chilwell there. I nearly said Ben Chilwell, and oh my God, Mendy's giving the ball away! Oh my gosh, Ivan Toney, what a let-off! What a let-off, and Manchester City have scored in the Burnley game as well. What a let-off for Chelsea. Mendy, his distribution there, usually half decent, let him down. He's tried to I don't even know what he's tried to do. Who's he tried to pass that to? He's tried to pass it to Rudiger, I believe, and Ivan Toney. He tries to take the opportunity quick. You know, the ball's rolling towards him. He's got Rudiger in front of him. He tries to do a side-footed chip, and it's gone straight over. But Chelsea get away with one. And that's a lovely ball over the top, though, by Alonso to find Werner. Werner, can he look up? Oh, he's just been shrugged off the ball there by Ayer. And Ayer is appealing that he was offside. And Wolves taking the lead against Villa as well. I've just realised I put Wolves versus Southampton. Apparently everyone's playing Southampton today. No wonder Southampton are struggling. Werner there, just not quite strong enough whatsoever to get in behind. And the commentators, I think they hit the nail on the head really there, saying that's what Werner needs to get used to. And it's that physicality that you have in English football. And I think that's maybe the biggest trait of English football, and the difference between English and German football is the physicality, especially of the centre halves, but all over the pitch. And lovely play here by Mason Mount. He skipped past a couple, and is that a throw-in? No, it is a goal kick. It's a lovely little run there down that right-hand side, and we're just going to watch this replay again of Timo Werner. It's a lovely ball over the top by Marcos Alonso, but Ayer there, yeah, he's just too strong, and Werner just doesn't look like he wants to put his body in the way and try shrug players off. He just doesn't look like he wants to do it. It's a very key area of English football, being able to hold your own. It's why someone such as Diego Costa, Didier Drogba, have been so proficient and efficient over recent years for Chelsea, and Werner doesn't have that, and he doesn't like to put his body in the way. He likes to try and run around players, which can work and it can be effective. That's a lovely ball out onto this right-hand side, and they've tried to put it in first time. It might fall to Mbeumo, falls to the edge of the box to Ivan Toney. Oh, good save there by Mendy. Gets down to his right-hand side. Ivan Toney didn't nearly didn't recognise him there because he's shaved his head by the looks of that, unless I've completely misjudged that one, but it did look like he shaved his head. I did wonder who it was at first. I could only tell by the long lanky legs of Ivan Toney. He is a bit of a mountain of a man, the Englishman. But good start for Brentford, good strike that time from Ivan Toney, forced a smart save from Edouard Mendy. In comes the corner then. It's Christian Eriksen to take that one, but it's cleared at the front post easily there by Kai Havertz. Can Werner get himself back on it? No, it's been won back by Brentford once again. Here's Mbeumo. Clipped forward there by Pinnock, looking for a darting run, potentially of Ivan Toney, but that's just gone out of play for... just overhit it, looking for the run over the top of Ivan Toney. Still 0-0 in Leeds versus Southampton. Of course, Liverpool won 2-0 against Watford earlier on. Goals from Diego Jota and Fabinho from the penalty spot. Wolves find themselves 1-0 up as well, and Manchester City have scored. Thank you to Oliver for keeping us updated with these. Thank you to Kevin De Bruyne, who has put Manchester City ahead at Burnley. So it looks like the title race is going to continue to have twists and turns as City looking to regain that top spot that they've just briefly lost from Liverpool. It literally, for a matter of 20, maybe even 15 minutes, not too long at all, that they have that they had lost the top spot. But a lot of football still to go, 85 minutes of football still to go, and Manchester United will tell you Burnley can be a hard opposition to beat on their day. Brentford threatening early on. I've had a couple of opportunities, most certainly Wiki. I think Ivan Toney will be kicking himself though from that mistake of Edouard Mendy, that he didn't actually hit the target, bare minimum, considering Mendy was out of position. Eriksen does well there to nick the ball. It's going to be whipped in this time, and that's off the head of Ivan Toney, who's put that one over this time. He could have had a hat-trick already had the ball fallen slightly differently there too. Ivan Toney. It was a lovely ball in there from Rico Henry. He's clipped in a deep ball into the box there. Rudiger just gets the wrong side of Ivan Toney. Or does Ivan Toney get the right side of Antonio Rudiger? It depends on the way you see it. But that is headed over. And I think he'll be annoyed again that he didn't hit the target. I do like Ivan Toney's fresh new trim though. I do like it. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I will definitely give him that. Who is the right wing back for... it's... Mads Roerslev. That's who it is. I was trying to work that out. And Mbeumo looks like he's starting off the left-hand side at the moment with Ivan Toney through the middle. Ball is too high for Toney. Yeah, it's just a little bit too high. I do think, though, he'll be annoyed because I think he just mistimed his jump just slightly, which is why it sort of clipped this part of his head rather than his forehead. Good bit of running there down that right-hand side there by Roerslev. Pinnock. And Marcus Alonso's given away a foul on that right-hand side, and potentially an opportunity for Christian Eriksen, there we are, got it, to put in a decent ball here. That's just a little bit clumsy there from Marcus Alonso. Needs to be careful. The referee won't be letting him have too many of those in this game, and they'll fancy their opportunities, Brentford. They've got, Ivan Toney, 6'4", more than capable in the air, and they're getting some of the big boys up as well. Janssen joining, Pinnock's joining, and all of the big boys are up from the back as well. And in comes this free kick from Christian Eriksen. It's flicked on at the front post, headed on at the back post again, and that's headed over this time. But the better of the opportunities in the opening 12 minutes or so have fallen to Brentford at the moment. Brentford, the ones who have come out looking like they're going to try and fire on all cylinders. Chelsea maybe stuck a little bit still in the international break. Who knows? Brentford will look for the set pieces to hurt Chelsea. Absolutely. Chelsea maybe don't have the tallest of squads that they possibly could. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, of course, providing that height for Chelsea in that midfield, but hasn't been able to stop any of the attacks so far. In comes to the other corner from Christian Eriksen. It's flapped at weirdly there by Edouard Mendy, who will be going to the World Cup with Sadio Mane with the Senegalese team. But he's just flapped at that just a little bit. It was a weird clearance there. It's gone out for a throw-in. But Edouard Mendy, I thought he would have fancied his chances just to catch it, if I'm brutally honest with you. But, you know, each to their own. Oh, the goal scorer for Wolves was Johnny. Of course, all of those games did kick off at 3 o'clock as well. So we're all at the same time. Here's Ayer trying to clip them ball down the line to Ruaslev. It's cleared, though, by Marcus Alonso. Headed back in there by Pontus Jansson. Thiago Silva, calm as you like, on the ball. Of course he is. Drops it into N'Golo Kante. Here is Marcus Alonso, who's going to whip one down the line. Lovely little bit of a dummy there from Werner, and that's better physicality there from Timo Werner, making sure that Ayer wasn't able just to easily shrug the shoulder off. Chelsea need to shift the momentum. They most certainly do. They need to get the possession, get themselves on the ball. It was better, though, from Timo Werner. It's over the other side, though, here with Ziyech, and he's just played that off. I think that was Rico Henry doing his good defensive duties. In comes the throw-in, looking for Kai Havertz. It's bouncing around. It might fall for Kante. Has fallen for Ivan Toney. Kante's nicked it back, though. Thought that was going to be a foul, I must say. The referee playing on, though. Alonso finds Werner. Werner drops it into Loftus-Cheek, who's going to look to play in almost, and the best way to say it is, a quarterback role for Chelsea today. I think he'll be the man looking with the vision from a little bit deeper in the Chelsea side. Here's Rudiger. Rolls it out onto the left-hand side to Marcus Alonso. Alonso finds the feet of Havertz, who's dropped into the left-hand side. Here is Werner, who finds Alonso again. Alonso tries to regain possession there. Had a bit of a shove in the back there. He was appealing for a foul from the push behind, but only succeeded in giving away a throw-in for Brentford. 15 minutes on the clock, and as Wiki Tiki says, Chelsea need to shift this momentum. At the moment, they're just a little bit quiet, on the back foot for the most part. Brentford, like they did the last time that they played Chelsea in the league, obviously last time it was at home for them, but like they did last time, taking the game to them. And Ivan Toney there has got his feet in a taffel, has he? And Christian Eriksen just able to regain possession. Pinnock, calm as you like there, manages to get himself away from the press of Havertz and Mount. Pontus Jansson tries to roll it out to Ayer, and that's a sloppy ball. Need to cut that out. Need to cut those passes out if they're going to try and put the pressure on. Only the first one, but Pontus Jansson, the captain, he sets the tone, doesn't he? He sets the tone for the team today. Bit of a sloppy pass there looking for Ayer. Chelsea now with a throw-in deep inside the Brentford half. Drops it into Kante. Kante back into Alonso. Alonso tries to get past Ruaslev and succeeded in winning another throw-in here. Thought it was going to be a corner ball. Would have preferred the corner ball, but it was in fact a throw-in. Marcus Alonso takes the throw-in to find Antonio Rudiger. How good has he been this season? Okay, so I think a lot of the debate for... That's a lovely ball there from Thiago Silva, looking for Havertz. He's unfortunately had to flick it onto Kante, and Kante is not the man you want loitering inside the 18-yard box. What I was going to say is, Team of the Season debate seems to be falling between the two Chelsea defenders of which one of those plays in the Team of the Season, which one of those gets ahead of each other. Which one do you think it is? You have to pick one. Who would you prefer to have if it was a Team of the Season? Who's had the better season? Rudiger? Thiago Silva? Who do you think has had the better season? Of course, it's always difficult when it comes to Team of the Season. Sorry, just for clarification, Pontus Jansson was just landed on as he jumped up with the ball with Havertz, which took his shoe off, which is why I'm talking Team of the Season rubbish. Probably should have specified that one. I think... and Mendy's gone down as well. That's worrying for Chelsea. Mendy's gone down as well. There have been protests at Stamford Bridge today as well from the home fans, protesting the Ricketts family, who are one of the potential new owners for Chelsea Football Club. They own I believe they own a baseball side in the USA. A lot of the controversy comes around that side, that those people as owners, because there was a Islamophobic chain of emails, I do believe is the... Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is why. And so, obviously, the most important thing about football at the moment, and as it always should be, is inclusivity. And if you're not going to be an inclusive owner, we don't want you at the club. And that is why Chelsea have been protesting outside... Chelsea fans, have been protesting outside Stamford Bridge. They don't want to feel like they're going backwards with the progression of the football club in terms of diversity and inclusivity generally. And with a lot of Muslim players specifically that Chelsea have, it just wouldn't be right for us to have owners who, unless, of course, it was 2008 to 2013, so a lot can change. Things are different to what they were. So unless they come out, they've apparently given a statement saying that, responding to the Chelsea fans, but unless they come out and actively seek a way to prove that they aren't still the same, I don't know what the best word is, but to say that they aren't the same people they were during that 5-year period of the email chains, then unfortunately Chelsea fans are just gonna protest every single week, and rightly so. No one should have to deal with any of those kind of problems. Absolutely not. The Chicago Cubs, yes, that's who it is, and apparently they run it terribly, which, is up for debate. It's obviously, they believe they run it well, they don't, but it is that Islamophobic email thread that really, tips it. It doesn't even tip it over the edge. It in itself tips the whole thing over the edge. It's not like, oh yeah, well maybe. No, absolutely not. If they're going to be, if they're going to have that and have that attitude, just absolutely not. Mendy and Pontus Jansson are back on their feet, by the way, and we are back underway. If they start to own Chelsea, I will make a rant. I don't surprise you, Bailey. I don't surprised at all. Maybe Thomas Frank has seen a weakness from Chelsea. Absolutely. It does look like he's trying something different today, but he's maybe not even emphasising one part of the Chelsea squad at the moment. But Chelsea, last couple of moments, have managed to get themselves on the ball a little bit more. Werner here finds Hakim Ziyech, who's drifted over onto this left-hand side. The cross there bounces, falls to Marcus Alonso in the box, peels for a penalty there, comes to the edge of the box for Mount! Ooh. Bit of a snapshot there for Mason Mount. Not the greatest of hits, but he got some power behind it and not too far away from that top corner. Wiki Tiki says, I think they'll win the bid anyway. Money talks, and they only need the Chelsea boards backing. The fan backing thing was a smoke screen to make the fans feel involved. It's definitely a difficult situation to be in. I hope if they haven't changed, and they haven't, well, if they haven't changed generally, maybe they shouldn't have the opportunity anyway, but give them the benefit of the doubt. If they haven't changed, then absolutely not. They cannot be Chelsea's owners. They just can't. No one, if they're still going to continue to be like that, obviously lots have changed, but lots of time has changed, the way that the world works has changed. But if they're going to continue and not apologise and stuff like that for the actions which they had over the last, recent history really, then definitely don't want them in the football club whatsoever. And to be honest, a 5-year period of email chains isn't like, oh yeah, I said one thing racist once. It's clearly a deep-rooted thing in their mentality. That's all I'm saying. Right, we'll move off of that, though. We will move off that. Here's N'Golo Kante, whips it into Ziyech. Ziyech! Oh, it's headed clear there by Pontus Jansson. Alonso tries to whip it in again, and that one's headed clear again. Brentford just under the cosh, just a little bit. Here's Rudiger. Every time he picks up the ball about 30 yards out, I look at Rudiger and he always looks like he's just going to have one and just have a strike, have an effort on goal. He always looks like it. Maybe that's just my optimism. Maybe. Who knows? That's a good ball though into Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek spins, drops it into Marcus Alonso. Alonso rolls it out to rolled it out to Werner, and Werner's pass just was poor. Really, really poor there from Timo Werner. Just a pleasant reminder, guys, whilst we are in the 23rd minute of football and it remains at 0-0, if you are enjoying the stream, do be sure to smash that like button and do hit subscribe as well. And these are regular occurrences on the Sam Redgate-Large channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And you know, if you can get us up to, how many likes are we on? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, ladies and gents. If we can get ourselves up to 15 likes, I can see we're already on 629 subscribers. So if we can get ourselves up to 15 likes, that would be absolutely fantastic. But thank you to those who have subscribed during this stream. Chelsea just give away a free kick here with another opportunity for Mbueno and Christian Eriksen to get the ball in. It needs to be a better delivery though than the last couple. Maybe not been the greatest from the duo. It's Eriksen once again. He clips it over. It's flicked on, and it was looking to try go through there to Pontus Jansson, but cleared by the Chelsea defenders. Werner might be able to take out a counter-attack here, but easily defended there as the midfield tracked back. As Nordgaard tracked back there. Let's have a look at the match rating so far. Only Rudiger with a 7 match rating or higher at the moment. That is all. But Brentford definitely have come out like they like they want to get themselves a goal. Mate, I wish Arsenal had a long distance shooter like Rudiger, not to score even, but just to have a different weapon or win a set piece when under pressure. That's the thing, it offers something completely different. And I mean, I guess you guys have Xhaka, but Xhaka's a player that that has caused himself a lot of problems in recent times. And so when he does it, everyone's like, oh, why have you done that? Whereas Rudiger, everyone, you know, loves him. Everyone absolutely loves him. And so Gundogan's just put him 2-0 up. Thank you, Oliver. City 2-0 up against Burnley. But yeah, absolutely, everyone loves Rudiger. And even if you just get a parried save or a corner from it or whatever, it's a better opportunity. And who knows? Potentially you can have a Vincent Kompany-esque moment where you find that top corner and the whole crowd loves it. Xhaka doesn't really shoot at all, really. He used to, but not as much recently, not as much. And that's the criticism, though, of Chelsea, is the fact that they're not clinical enough in front of goal. So having Rudiger there, someone who's going to shoot from 20, 30 yards out, for me, I can't complain. I cannot complain whatsoever. Because, you know, we've got talent from set pieces, we've got Ziyech, we've got Alonso, we've got Mount, who can all take good set pieces, but we don't really at the moment still have that clinical goal scorer, and we need someone like a Rudiger just to be able to take a few long distance shots and cause a few extra problems for defenders. Xhaka only gets red cards in the Carabao Cup semi-final, says Schrafter. I mean, I feel like Xhaka is a player who Arsenal fans, they start to like him again. And it's just as Arsenal fans start to like him again, he goes and does something, and Arsenal are like, why do we still have him? And then it goes in this circle every time. Rico Henry there looking for the ball down the line there. It was Mbuemo trying to stretch the play, and that is good defending there from Cesar Azpilicueta, who, of course, we learnt this week, has had a contract extension. And I saw a lot of people questioning how Cesar Azpilicueta was able to get a contract extension, considering Chelsea are a football club that are still frozen. So it was very, very interesting. But the way that Chelsea have managed to extend that contract is the fact that because it was already in his contract, it's already a clause that it is in his contract, they can extend pre-existing contracts as a result of clauses in the contracts. They have to honour contracts, is the best way to say it. And so Azpilicueta, he had to play a minimum amount of games this season to have the opportunity for the contract to be extended, or it would automatically be extended in this case. And so Azpilicueta will be joining us at least for another season at Stamford Bridge, and that just takes a little bit of the worries off. Of course, we would love to keep Antonio Rudiger. Andreas Christensen's sort of pushing, trying to get his way out as Leeds United take a 1-0 lead against Southampton. Christensen's trying to make his way out of Chelsea Football Club, which is a shame, but clearly Tuchel doesn't believe that he has too much of a future there for them. But Rudiger is waiting to see if Chelsea can offer him anything and what Chelsea can offer come the end of the season. Because I think Rudiger's very happy at Chelsea Football Club. There's been talks between Barcelona and Real Madrid to try get him on that free transfer. Brighton have just missed a penalty as well. But there's been talks of it. But I think Rudiger's head and heart is still in London. But I guess it depends what he wants for his career path. He's not won a Premier League at Chelsea. Does he want some more silverware? Going to a Real Madrid, especially the form that they maybe had been over the last few seasons with Barcelona dropping out, maybe could get himself a La Liga title and help rebuild that Real Madrid side. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We will have to wait and see. Hopefully the sale of Chelsea Football Club will come quickly. And like I say, not to the Ricketts family. But if it does come quickly and we get ourselves an owner, hopefully that'll be the first thing that they do. And Jack Harrison has scored for Leeds. And that is the goal scorer. Thank you, Oliver. Brighton can't score in a brothel. I like Xhaka as a player, but he's not the answer in our midfield. He's a squad player for me. Yeah, it's a difficult one with Xhaka. I think he's done well, though, because when you saw him have his captain's armband taken off in Granit Xhaka, you thought, oh, this is going to be the end of Xhaka for Arsenal. But fair enough, he's stuck it out, and he's slowly but surely winning a few hearts back from the Arsenal fans. Nearly 30 minutes on the clock here at Stamford Bridge. It remains Chelsea 0, Brentford 0. The best opportunities really so far fall into Ivan Toney. He's had a couple, 2 or 3. He's had a header. He's had one which came from a mistake from Edouard Mendy, which he just placed over the crossbar, and he's had a shot saved as well by the Chelsea goalkeeper down to his bottom right. But other than that, Chelsea a little bit quiet at the moment, yet to create too many clear-cut opportunities, the current champions of Europe. And of course, is it this week the Champions League is back? Have I got that right? I do believe it is, because it would be Chelsea versus Real Madrid this week, which is a repeat of the semi-final last year. The semi-final? I can't even remember now. I cannot even remember. For some reason, my Wednesday won't load. Everything else will load. But I do believe it is Champions League quarter-final. It most certainly is. And 6th of April, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. So if you are enjoying and want to come back on Wednesday night to watch Chelsea versus Real Madrid with me, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for me. And hopefully Chelsea can go on a nice run. I'm hoping semi-finals. I think we can beat this Real Madrid team once more. We just need to find some goals. Who knows, eh? Who knows with Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea. Ethan Pinnock does well there. Rolls the ball into Ivan Toney, and Thiago Silva there. It's just come into the back of Ivan Toney. Just a little bit clumsy as he tried to put the pressure on the big Englishman there. Just a little bit clumsy. And we are back underway. Still think Chelsea could slap Madrid, even though they don't create like that. I mean, Madrid, what? They lost, was it 4-1 to Barcelona the other day? They can definitely concede goals. Chelsea have just got to, the whole of the last Champions League season, Chelsea, they did what they needed to do every single round, and obviously that is the aim of the game, isn't it? To beat everyone you face. And of course we technically lost to Porto in that second leg, and even that was an overhead kick. It was a gorgeous overhead kick. But my point is, Chelsea were pretty much flawless, especially in those knockout games. And I was nervous for especially the semi-final. I wasn't overly nervous for Porto, and the last 16 with Atletico Madrid. I was nervous for that one as well. But every time a big opportunity presented itself, Thomas Tuchel got it right, and got it right on the night. And I think that's what Thomas Tuchel potentially does better than any other manager in Europe at the moment, is get it right when needed. when needed. I've realised since Roman got sanctioned, Chelsea have been creating more and winning more games, and before we was drawing pretty much every game. Yeah, who knows? It's a weird thing, isn't it? A weird thing, but we definitely can't live under sanctions for the rest of our lives, otherwise we will struggle. That being said, a few things have been changed. For example, we can sell away tickets, and I do believe we've got like a bank account now that is just like our own, so that we can pay for different bits and bobs, and we can keep ourselves afloat and sell away tickets, sell home tickets, etc. That being said, Stamford Bridge, of course, isn't fully sold out today because it is, I believe, we're still under, what is the word? Oh, that's a lovely ball from Kante into Mount. Side-footed. A bit of a hard opportunity there from Mason Mount. He's tried to side-foot it, looking to hit one on the volley like he did against West Ham earlier on in the season. It's a good run there from Mason Mount, but he's just side-footed it, and the bounce really has taken all the sting out of the strike. 8 goals and 7 assists this season. Top goal scorer and top assister Mason Mount so far. It's not even his best season. You play possession-based game and Modric, I'm assuming that means, Cruz, Casemiro, all look at their age when they don't. They all look their age when they don't have the ball. Can't handle the athleticism without the ball. Exactly, and I think if we can keep Kante fit, especially for that leg, I think Kante will be vitally important. Here's Ziyech, drops it into Kante. Rolls it back to Thiago Silva, another man who I think is going to be really important. Ruben Loftus-Cheek there has played that a little bit behind Marcus Alonso, but Alonso does well to distribute it back to Timo Werner. It's switched out wide towards Kante here. Kante's done well, and Wolves have scored a second apparently, so that's 2-0 against Villa. I'm sure Josh is having an absolute mare at the moment. Good play there by Ziyech, who looks sharp again. In comes the ball from Mason Mount. Cleared at the front post, though, by Pontus Jansson. Christian Eriksen tries to get the ball down, and Kai Havertz does well to read that one, actually. Here's Timo Werner now. Chelsea, just with a little bit of sustained pressure at the moment. Can they make something of it, though, and get themselves in at half-time? Ahead, that is the question. Aspilicueta down the line there to Mason Mount. Lovely turn there from Mason Mount. Can he look up and see Werner? Oh, good defensive play there by Christian Eriksen. I thought that was going to trickle its way through there. I was maybe a little bit too excited at that, but I thought it was going to trickle its way through to Timo Werner. And of course it would be Timo Werner, so he'd only be able to score if he was offside anyway. Knowing Timo Werner, eh? Knowing Timo Werner. Ashley Young scored an own goal. Thank you, Oliver. Lukaku being out of the team is one of the major things that's helping Chelsea create more. It is. We play differently with Havertz up front. I always speak about it. It's like a dynamic front three, and that is what Chelsea. That's when they play at their best. We saw it last season with Pulisic, Mount, Werner, Havertz. Chelsea played at their best when they had those 3 or 4 players, depending on who's obviously playing, moving in and out, changing position, and Lukaku just doesn't offer that. It's Chelsea have bought a striker that doesn't suit the style of play. Rudiger there finds Havertz. Havertz is going to try and turn away here. He's going to look up, is he? No, he rolls it into Alonso, who goes back to Havertz. Havertz tries to pull one across the box. It's blocked though by Pontus Jansson. Ayer blocked that one, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in. Alonso takes the throw-in quickly to Timo Werner. Here's Rudiger. Is he going to line one up this time? He looks like he's going to. He is going to. Oh! Couple of yards wide there. That's what I mean. You can't give him that little bit of space on the edge of the box because he will try it. And it's not a bad hit. He's not too far wide. He's in it dead straight, which is the unfortunate part because he was about 3 yards from the left-hand side of the goal, and it's the only time he's ever hit the ball dead straight in his life, and it's gone dead straight 3 yards wide. But even still, Romelu Lukaku named on the bench for the 4th straight Premier League game in a row. Who'd have thought Chelsea had spent 100 million on a bench warmer when Romelu Lukaku came in? I most certainly didn't, especially with that game against Arsenal right early on in the season. Of course, a massive changing point. I'm sure Wiki Tiki will tell us a massive changing point for Arsenal as well. But the way that Lukaku played that day, it made him look like we were going to be in with a superstar. His fundamentals aren't good enough, his first touch is bad, his body shape is poor. I can't agree more. I must say, Wiki, I cannot agree more. And the mentality as well is absolutely awful, isn't it? I'm assuming that's what you've added into that. Alonso does well there to win that header from the clearance, and Havertz has done well to find Alonso again. Here's Mason Mount. Mount looking to roll through Timo Werner. It comes back out to Mount. Here's Hakim Ziyech. Is he going to cut in on his left foot? Oh my gosh, what a save that is from Raya. That is a great save, and that has finally tested Raya properly. And it's a smart save there by the Brentford goalkeeper. It's a good drive. We've seen Ziyech do that so often. We saw it against Spurs, didn't we? That cut in on that left-hand side, on that left foot, and he's absolutely whipped it. And it's a great save. It's a good hand to palm that one over the top of the crossbar. Better from Chelsea. Better from Chelsea. And that following corner was absolutely god-awful. Who was that? Mason Mount, you should be ashamed of that corner. He's whipped in though again by Ziyech. It might fall to Rudiger, and Rudiger's given away a foul there. Brilliant save. Yeah, absolutely, Wiki. A brilliant save there. How often have we seen this season him do that? How often? It's been so frequent for Hakim Ziyech to get a big hand, to get a big goal for Chelsea and whip it past the goalkeepers from that position. It was a brilliant effort on goal, as always, from Hakim Ziyech, and that's better. That is better. And like Ricky says, it's good to have players who can shoot from range. Most certainly is, and Ziyech is looking like one of them, isn't he? Ziyech is looking like one of them. You're still not creating clear-cut enough chances, though. No, we most certainly aren't. Most certainly aren't. I think that's the story of the last few seasons, though, isn't it, really, with Chelsea not creating clear-cut opportunities. Loftus-Cheek, he's been a little bit quiet so far. I was expecting a bit more penetration from from Ruben Loftus-Cheek himself. Here's Kante inside the box. Is there a foul on Kante there? Referee says no. Ziyech tries to go towards the byline. That's good defensive play there by Rico Henry to stop Ziyech from getting down the line there. Good defensive play, I must say. But yeah, it's really strange, isn't it, the way that Chelsea play? They don't seem to create clear-cut opportunities, and it just makes you wonder if they always try and go down the right-hand side or the left-hand side and pull one back and set one up that way. But as a result of that, they don't hit on the counter-attack as much as they used to. It's very, very strange. Chelsea definitely in need of a clear-cut, ruthless, cutthroat striker. And then also a world-class creator who's going to be played in the right position and not played at right wing-back, like I suspect that Hakim Ziyech is being played at the moment. And Chelsea have given the ball away here, and here is Mbeumo on the edge of the box, who rolls it into Ivan Toney. He's tried to pull it across the box there, looking for, I believe it was Janelt making the late run into the box there. Chelsea just get away with one there. They gave the ball away very quickly, and Brentford looked to attack quickly. But here goes Werner, who's looking to thread in Ziyech, and that's just a poor ball. That could be a system thing or a player profile thing. I think it's a system thing, to be honest with you, Wiki. I think it is a system thing. I think it's the way that Chelsea play and what Thomas Tuchel likes to do with his attackers. But for me, I'd like to see us play with a recognised striker who, to be honest with you, I think Diego Jota would have been the perfect player to play up front in this Chelsea team. With the way that Havertz plays, I think Jota would have been perfect because he can. He's very good on the ball, he's good in the air, he's clinical in front of goal as well, so I think he would have been perfect. But Chelsea need to find a player, or Havertz needs to step up in these games and start doing Chelsea some favours. I'd definitely take Diego Jota though. That would have been so good. But Liverpool did well. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely for the pivot, which is maybe why we're playing a bit more of a 4-3-3 here today. Werner on this left-hand side now, drops it into Kante, back into Werner. just overhit that one, and Ayer's able to, yeah, clean the ball up there, and that might be a Chelsea throw-in as well. As your defence is basically babysitting. I mean, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, babysitting the third best player in the world in 2021. 2021? What year are we in? 2022. Yeah, it was last year, so 2021. Ow. Alonso into Kante. Good drop of the shoulders there by N'Golo Kante. Kante chops back. Whoa. I tell you what, he was he was causing problems there for Ayer. First of all, he drops his shoulder, and then Kante comes out with a Ronaldo chop. Kante, of all people, comes out with a Ronaldo chop. And it's great play from N'Golo Kante. It's a good job that Ruaslev was getting himself back in there. Kante there, just looking like he might have overstretched a little bit. In comes this corner again. Mason Mount can't beat the first man at the front post. Won't take you long if you are new to the Sam Redgate-Large channel to realise how much it irritates me when a corner can't beat the front post. Mendy. Oh, he's tried to... I tell you what, he won a bad ball there looking for Marcos Alonso. Marcos Alonso, though, just couldn't quite get the touch on it. 44 minutes on the clock. We'll see how much extra time we get. We will have a bit of a half-time game. Of course, I've got my little quiz. So if you guys are enjoying, be sure to stick around. We'll be around for the half-time quiz. And, of course, we'll be around for the second half as well, to keep you, hopefully, entertained as well. Ayer from the throw-in there. He threw it into Mbeumo, and Mbeumo just took his eye off the ball and absolutely rocketed it back to the centre half, and he couldn't keep that one on. I don't think anyone could. It was an absolute rocket, and Mbeumo just pinged back to him there. I tell you what, a massive criticism I've always had of N'Golo Kante is the fact that his on-the-ball play isn't great, but in this game, he's been a lot better. He has been a lot better. His on-the-ball play isn't usually great. He's very good at intercepting, reading the play. Maybe not the best passer of a football, but today it's been a lot better. Ruben Loftus-Cheek now rolls it into Mason Mount, who drops it back to Azpilicueta. Here's Hakim Ziyech, goes wider to Azpilicueta again. Azpilicueta looking for a nutmeg on Rico Henry, who stands his ground, and it goes behind for a Chelsea corner. Is this an opportunity here for... Chelsea to get their noses in front before half-time and potentially change Thomas Tuchel's half-time team talk? Here we go. In comes the corner. This time from Ziyech, who beats the front post. Oh, Havertz is in there. Alonso was in there as well. And somehow Brentford get away with it. It was aimed towards Havertz, and Raya, he's just gone like that. He looks like he's playing volleyball, the way he's just pushed it up like that. I tell you what. Very, very worrying there for Raya. In comes the corner again. Ziyech tries to put it on the keeper again. Chelsea must look to do that themselves. Eriksen tries to carry the ball out. Can he look up and see Mbeumo, who's down the line for him? And Mason Mount holds up Christian Eriksen nicely there. Eriksen did very, very well, I must say. Just to stop Chelsea hitting on the counter-attack or causing too many problems for Brentford there, and just biding some time for Brentford. Kante is messy, his work rate is amazing, but he can put you under pressure with his poor passing, absolutely. I've always said that about N'Golo Kante. He's brilliant. Like, when he performs to his best, he's absolutely brilliant, don't get me wrong. But just when he's on the ball, I just never feel confident. And that is half-time, ladies and gents. That is half-time at Stamford Bridge. And it is Chelsea 1. No, it's not. It is Chelsea 0. Brentford 0. And a little bit of a disappointing first half from a Chelsea perspective. I'm sure if there are any other Chelsea fans here, I'm sure you will agree with me in that sense, because Chelsea, they haven't really come out of the blocks firing at all, and I think Chelsea would have wanted to at least have a goal cushion coming into this half-time period, but unfortunately we don't. And I think that's credit as well, where credit's due to Brentford, because Brentford came out, especially in the first 15 minutes, and looked like they wanted to wanted to score goals and wanted to move the ball forward, and especially from set pieces, cause a few problems. And as a result of that, they've really sort of had the better of the opportunities falling to Ivan Toney. Obviously, we've had a few that have fallen to Ivan Toney in this first half that he's not been able to take. But they've had the better of the opportunities for the most part, haven't they? They most certainly have. Let me know your thoughts, guys, if you do have halftime thoughts. I'm just going to make sure we're up to date with all of the scores that are scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. If I can get my phone to update for some reason. I don't know why it's not updating. It'd be very useful if it did. Let me exit the app and reload up the app as well. That'll be brilliant. Let me just make sure everyone's up to date. It's still not doing anything. That's 0-0. That's 2-0. So that's fine. Chelsea's still 0-0. Leeds are still 1-0 up. And there's a minute of extra time left in the Wolves game, but they are still 2-0 up against Aston Villa as well. So yes, we are all up to date with the scrolling across the bottom. But that does leave us with a little bit of time for a half-time game, ladies and gents. That does leave us with a little bit of time for a half-time game. Let me grab the stuff from up here as I carry my microphone with me, and we can do a bit of a Chelsea quiz. Unfortunately, there aren't many Brentford players who have coincided with the what's this called? The World Stars from 2018, as you can imagine. Not too many of the Brentford players have continued to be at that level. None of them are quite like Aaron Moy and somehow make their way into this pack. But we will do a bit of a Chelsea quiz. Hopefully you guys are down for it, and hopefully it should be nice and fun for you. Do be sure, if you haven't already as well, guys, do be sure to smash that like button for us, and do hit subscribe as well. We're on 630 subscribers, so we've gained an extra 4, so thank you to those who have subscribed so far. And of course, do be sure, get vocal in the chat as well. This channel's just as much as mine as it is yours, and already and all wondering what you think to the game so far, which has been the best game. Probably that Wolves game. You'd like to think, wouldn't you? You would most certainly like to think. And we're currently on 10 likes as well, guys, so just a little bit of a shout out to make sure, if you haven't already, do be sure to smash that like button for us and get us up to that 15 like goal, which we set on every stream. That would be absolutely brilliant. Do we have to do Willian? He's just come up, and we said a Chelsea one, and do we have to do Willian? I feel like we've done most of the Chelsea players in here now, with Chelsea being... If anyone's wondering why I'm saying it like that, it's because I really disliked Willian. I just didn't rate him whatsoever. I just didn't. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people rated Willian, but he was so bang average, man. He was bang average and had a half-decent season one time when Chelsea finished 10th, and he was so bang average. Loads of people go, oh yeah, I miss Willian. I'm like, no, I don't. And Wiki says, yeah, forget Willian. Okay, we'll forget him. I know you're an Arsenal fan as well, so... I remember as well, like, when he went to Arsenal, everyone was like, oh my God, what a steal. I can't believe you've let Willian go. Can't believe it. And then I remember just being like, just you wait. And he is, honestly, he's one of those players who just isn't good enough. Oh, let me move my mic before you guys get a load of chaotic noise. He just isn't good enough, is he, Willian? That was always my opinion, and if you were to look through my Twitter, I'm sure the amount of Willian slander you would see is immense over that period of time. I thought he'd be a squad player, then he started every week at the beginning of the season. I rated Willian from a distance, then he played for my club. Yeah, that's the thing. It is the thing. He just isn't a good enough player. In my personal opinion. Oh, Thiago Silva. Let's do Thiago Silva. Why not? We all love Thiago Silva, I think, as a collective group of people. I don't think there's any person who doesn't who doesn't like Thiago Silva, the 37-year-old who, of course, signed an extra year on his contract at Chelsea. He's loving life at Stamford Bridge. And why not when you're playing as well as Thiago Silva is, with, like I said, rumours of him potentially getting in the team of the season so far. I hate Thiago Silva so much. No, you don't. I thought that about Sam in the uni team. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Aaron. And JK. Here we go. Here's the first question for the Thiago Silva quiz. And we'll get ourselves off nice and easily. But for which French team did Thiago Silva play? Get ourselves off nice and easy. Don't be too hard. Willian or Ziyech or Hudson-Odoi? What, as in rate them? Ziyech top, Hudson-Odoi in the middle, and then Willian last. Hudson-Odoi still has the potential. So for me, he goes above Willian. Willian just was bang average. Willian was bang average his whole career in a team that had Eden Hazard, which, to be honest with you, he looked bang average with Eden Hazard in the team. And everyone was like, nah, he's sick. No, he wasn't. He was god-awful. Honestly, hated him. Hudson-Odoi is overrated. He's average too. Yeah, but Hudson-Odoi's 20. Willian had his whole career. He can at least get better. He can most certainly at least get better. And Wiki Ticky's gone with PSG. Oliver's gone with PSG. And Bailey's come up with his new team called PSH. Paris Saint-Germain, apparently. But it is correct. It is PSG, who was the team he played for in France. The next question is, why didn't Thiago Silva play in Brazil's 7-1 mauling by Germany in the 2014 World Cup semi-final? What did you think about Oscar when he was at Chelsea? I think Oscar had a bit more about him. I think he was a good player. There was a couple of seasons when we had Hazard, Mata and Oscar all firing, and they definitely did a good job. But I think the thing is as well with Oscar, his role as a centre attacking midfielder has the centre attacking midfielder in English football's pretty much died, which is why some players haven't been able to cause any problems. We're on about Thiago Silva, Schrafter. But my story about the 2014 game in which Germany beat Brazil 7-1 was, obviously, this was when I was 14. And with it being in Brazil, a lot of the games were sort of played at like 10 at night, weren't they? Well, here, 10 at night. And so that was one of those games. I think it had started maybe 9-10. And with me being 14, about to, had school in the morning, whatever. I remember I was about to go up to bed, and I was like, I watched like the first 10 minutes, and it was like 2-0 or something inside the first 10 minutes, and I was like, well, at least I saw the goals sort of thing. It'll sort of die out this game. And then I went upstairs, and my brother's like shouting, oh my God, they've scored again. And I dashed back downstairs with my toothbrush in my mouth, oh my God, they have. And then I just calmed down, walked back up the stairs, and Jake's like, Sam, they've scored again. And I'm running up and down these stairs trying to brush my teeth because Brazil are just crumbling to pieces and Germany are just doing a madness. But there we are. That is my crappy story. Let's have a look. Oliver's gone with he was suspended. Wiki's gone injury. And Schrafter says he was just shit. Or he was suspended. I can reveal to you, he was suspended for it. He got suspended in the previous game for it. I remember that game. My uncle and I were watching the mauling. Absolutely. That's the reason I remember it. I don't think I'd have remembered it like quite as clearly had I not been yo-yoing to and from the top of the stairs, back and down, up, down. I don't think I'd have remembered it. It was just like, I must have got a good workout in that day. I tell you what, I must have got a good workout in. Absolutely. We will move on to question 3, which talks about his Olympic career. The first question I'm going to give to you, it's going to be like a two-part question. You know, like when your teacher goes, oh yeah, it's only 4 questions this exam, and then it's like 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D. I'm going to do that to you. This is just a one question, but I'm going to make it into 2. So, Thiago Silva has an Olympic career. How many Olympic medals has Thiago Silva won? And what colours or colour were they? So that is the question. Thiago Silva has an Olympic career for Brazil. Let me just check. He wasn't in last year's Olympic team. I know Dani Alves was. I'm just going to double check this one because, of course, these are a couple of years older. Let me just double check. Honours. No, he didn't play this year. Oh, I missed out on a gold medal this year. So that'll give you a clue. But he's played in the Olympics. He has won a certain amount of medals. How many medals do you think he has won? And what colour were they? Oliver's gone with 2 silvers. Wiki's gone with 2 silvers and a gold. Silver in the swimming breast. For God's sake. I should specify, he wasn't Michael Phelps. He was playing in the football. Thank you for that one, Aaron. Thank you for that one. Oh, thank you for lightening up my day a little bit. Shaft has gone with 2 silvers. That would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it, if he just got a silver? Thiago Silva gets himself a silver. That, honestly, Aaron, you have. But he's gone with a silver and a bronze is what I'm going to say that Aaron has gone with there. And I can reveal to you, whilst you may have been joking, Aaron, you actually got the medals correct. Obviously, they weren't in the swimming breaststroke and 400-metre hurdles, but Thiago Silva got a silver and a bronze. And if I just check on the internet, he got a bronze in 2008, the Beijing Olympics, and then at the London 2012 Olympics, he got himself a silver medal. And Mexico were the champions that year. And the previous year, who were the champions of that one? It's always a really random nation, I find. That time it was Argentina, so not that random, but Nigeria were the runners-up. Yes, you did actually get the colours correct. He got a silver and he got a bronze. 2012 and 2008. He'll be slightly annoyed, like I say, that he didn't play last year, but that would have been a gold medal for him. Dani Alves has got it instead. But, you know, who knows? Maybe he can get himself a World Cup winners medal this year. Maybe so. I rate that, I rate that. Why is football an Olympic sport? We have plenty of international tournaments. What I don't understand is why is it an Olympic sport, and then we're just allowing professionals in it? Because the Olympics is for amateurs. So technically we should have amateurs in it. And I'm not just saying this just so I can get my, Team GB call up. Of course not. But I'm just saying, I could have the call up. I suit Team GB. I could be Team GB. And I'm more inclusive as well, as I'm half Irish, half Northern Irish, and English as well. So I tick 2 boxes there. No one can complain that, it's just all English, because I tick all the boxes. But it's a weird one. I think it should be more amateur or under 23s. I think they should take the likelihood of that doing it. But even still, at the London 2012s, they had Neymar playing in the Brazil team, and you're like, you've got Neymar playing. What? I don't understand. Thiago Silva's played, Dani Alves, of course, the most decorated footballer of our generation. But there we are. We're underway for the second half. Thank you for those who have played, and I hope you enjoyed the game as much as I did. And thank you, Aaron, for making my day with that comment. You wouldn't get a GB call up from what I saw. Aaron, I will put you on mute. According to some Sam, England are going to win this World Cup. Oof. Oof, I wouldn't like to be so confident, but all I can say is, it's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home. It's got to. That being said, Brentford on the back foot already, give the ball away, and Chelsea have a corner. Mason Mount, better corner there from Mason Mount, looking towards Thiago Silva, comes out towards the edge of the box for Timo Werner. Here is Antonio Rudiger. Clipped in by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, takes a deflection, cleared by Ethan Pinnock. My watch has just told me to get up and be active. I'm like, I'm doing something. Evening to Philippe, who says, Bayern are beating Freiburg 2-1. Good result for... were they down? Oh, it's a close one, I tell you what. It only took them 10 minutes, though, to get their noses back in front. But evening to you, Philippe. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Hope you are doing well, and thank you for stopping by. Azpilicueta. This looks better from Chelsea already. The passing just looks a bit slicker, and they look like they're actually trying to spread the play. That's a lovely ball from Azpilicueta to find Havertz, and he goes down to the byline and he clips one in. Is Alonso at the edge of the box there waiting for it? He tries to drive it in. It's a good defensive piece of play there by Ayer, and it's cleared by Brentford out for a Chelsea throw-in. Last time someone sang that, it went Rome instead. The point is of it's coming home is it's just... I'm sure everyone who is English agrees it's not about the fact that we ever believe it's going to come home. It's just we sing it every single time. Southampton have just scored to equalise against Leeds United. But we sing it every time because it gives us hope, and it's an absolute banging tune as well. It is an absolute banging tune as well. You can't change my mind on that one. Last time someone said it was coming Rome for the World Cup, they got knocked out by North Macedonia. That is a good comeback. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek in a little bit of space here. Rudiger finds Marcus Alonso. Kante on this left-hand side. Rudiger's going to shoot from range. Oh my God! What a goal! Antonio Rudiger! Take a bow, my son! What a goal that is! Oh my gosh! That is from 30, 40 yards out! Antonio Rudiger puts Chelsea 1-0 up in the most spectacular fashion! What a goal! Antonio Rudiger! Oh my gosh! What a strike! Oh my gosh, Antonio Rudiger, just when we needed you. What a strike that is from Rudiger. I don't know if it takes a deflection on the way through. We're watching it from behind here, and oh my gosh, what a strike! Mason Mount's reaction to that summed it up. He just turned round and went, what a strike from Antonio Rudiger. Get that man his contract extension. I beg we get a contract extension for it. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a strike, man. What a strike. That is possibly the greatest finish I've ever seen Rudiger do. It's been a long time since I've seen a goal like that. I'm really hot now. What a goal that was. Oh, Brentford might be on the attack here. Is in Mbeumo. It falls in. Oh my gosh, what a strike that is. It's 1-1. We've just seen two of the brilliant strikes, but it's 1-1. Chelsea switched off. Oh my gosh. Chelsea, all you have to do, just keep your composure, lads. To be fair to Brentford, they put on a press, they play the ball around nicely, and Mbeumo rolls it in, and it's a terrific strike. A terrific little player, and what a finish that is, into the top corner there. A brilliant finish. Oh my gosh, I've not got over that one, and Janelt's gone and absolutely screamed one into the top corner as well, and now it's 1-1. As quick as it was 1-0 to Chelsea, it's now 1-1. Oh my gosh. I don't think I'm made for this. Look at me, I'm physically sweating after that Rudiger goal. And I've not even calmed down from the Rudiger goal yet. And it's now 1-1, and Chelsea, now we're going to have to call for Rudiger to do another one of those long-range efforts that we're apparently so accustomed to seeing at the moment. What a strike from Rudiger. Janelt, to be fair to him, he has come up clutch there with a brilliant strike as well for his side. But it's 1-1, and ladies and gentlemen, it is game on at Stamford Bridge. It is game on. Chelsea, they always say, don't they, you're at your most vulnerable when you've just scored, and Chelsea, they were definitely vulnerable there, weren't they? Definitely vulnerable. And, oh my gosh. Oliver says, to be fair, Brentford have deserved that. I think I agree over the course of the game. Oh my God. I think we're going to have to crack open a window. Jesus, wet. Oh God. Oh, what a strike from Rudiger. It's a shame that they've gone and scored, because now I'm disappointed. I'm signing Rudiger after that goal. I know, what a strike. But Janelt, a lovely strike for him as well. Well, that was anticlimactic. What a goal. It was anticlimactic in the end. I'm actually going to open my window for 5 minutes. Someone remind me to to close my window in a little bit, but I am opening it because it is too hot in here. I've absolutely worked up a sweat from from Antonio Rudiger scoring a screamer. And, I mean, it wouldn't be football, would it, if I didn't work up a sweat from scoring a screamer. And Bayern Munich have got themselves a third, according to Philippe. Good stuff. Good stuff. What can Chelsea do? That's a great ball into Havertz. Havertz into Werner. Werner bearing down on the goal. Oh, what good defending that is from Ayer. I don't know why he's tried to go across goal there. He should have gone towards that near post into that top corner. But, oh my gosh. This is end to end now, ladies and gents. End to end. Oh, I just realised I didn't have the crowd sound on. Through all of that excitement. Hopefully that should do it. In comes... Oh, my voice is going as well now. Bloody hell. Oh, bloody hell. Brentford might be able to hit on the counter-attack here. They've got a 2v1 if they work this well enough. It's Mbeumo going down the left-hand side. Mbeumo across to Eriksen. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Christian Eriksen, the former Spurs man, scores. What is happening? Chelsea, what are you doing? What is happening? I'm too hot for this. This was supposed to be a nice and peaceful game. My watch has just told me to stop stressing. But Brentford, I can't say they haven't deserved it on that first half performance. Brentford have gone and got 2 quick-fire goals and find themselves 2-1 up. And Mbeumo's got both assists. What is going on at Stamford Bridge? It's another brilliant, excellent goal. Easy as you like from Eriksen, who gets his 3rd goal in the last 3 games for club and country. Oh, someone just can we just have 5 minutes? Can we just pause the game? I am too stressed out for this. I can feel my heart just racing. I don't think I've calmed down from the Rudiger goal. And now we find ourselves 2-1 down. Thanks to a Christian Eriksen goal. Chelsea losing. Yes, thank you, Fraser, for spotting the obvious. Oh my gosh, what a turnaround from Brentford. If it wasn't Chelsea, I would have been absolutely excited with that. But Chelsea are going to make a sub, and thank God Reece James is going to make his way onto the field. Chelsea reactive with their response here. Definitely reactive. He's going to go out and play on the left-hand side, is Reece James for the time being. Surprised Aspilicueta hasn't gone out onto that left-hand side personally. But it is Reece James who's going out onto that left-hand side. Who is in net? I know. It looks like there's no one in net for either team at the moment. I tell you what. We've just had 3 goals in, 8 minutes for both sides? That is mental. Brighton still struggling against Norwich. Absolutely. Absolutely. And my scores at the bottom all updated as Mason Mount looks to drive the ball up the field. I think they are. James Ward-Prowse has equalised for Southampton. Here's Azpilicueta, who rolls it into Ziyech. Ziyech is going to whip this one in towards the back post, looking for Timo Werner. Werner's appealing for the throw in there, and that's gone out of play. Mendy's in net. Mendy's in goal. Oh, my God. I now really need to cough, and it's really annoying. Let me give myself a cough. But Chelsea do have a corner here, so we're just going to have to wait just a little bit. Reece James is on, playing at left-back. In comes the corner from Ziyech. It's a poor corner from Hakim Ziyech that time. Werner's done well to stop that counter-attack, and there might be another counter-attack, though, for Brentford. Here's Mbeumo, who's got himself 2 assists already in this second half, and we're only 10 minutes in. It's all to play for here at Stamford Bridge. I cannot believe that strike from Rudiger. That is outrageous. But Mbeumo goes up the other end. Oh my gosh, Chelsea could be on for a pummeling here. Oliver's 3-1 prediction might be correct, but the other way at this rate. I tell you what, Brentford have the wind in their sails. When you're in possession, Brentford are swarming you. They are. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. They're on top at the moment, and they deserve to be, if I'm brutally honest. I just realised my other laptop's been underneath this the whole time. I don't know why. And I've been trying to make myself look taller the whole time, and it's been sat on something else. 8 corners for Chelsea, 4 for Brentford. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because the important one is the fact that Brentford have now got themselves a 2-1 lead. In comes the corner for Brentford, and Kante might be able to hit us on the counter-attack here. Kante looking for Timo Werner. The pass is just a little bit wide there, and Rico Henry's going to try and get himself back in. Werner, can he... Oh, Werner, man. What is that, Timo? Referee weighs play on because there was a bit clumsy there from Rico Henry, but Ziyech has given the ball away this time, and Janelt... Was that Janelt? No, it was Nordgaard, sorry. Manages to win himself a free kick on halfway. What are Chelsea going to have to do here, man? The difference Eriksen has made for Brentford. He's been so, in this game, he's not been overly active. He's not been active Christian or active Eriksen. Not like you, Aaron. He's been in the game. He's been doing been just steadily working away. But he's just got himself into the right position, and that's just exactly what Brentford needed in that opportunity. If you lose this, you're only 5 points. If you lose this, you're only 5 points off of Arsenal. I know it drags us into that top 4 race. We cannot lose this. Come on, Chelsea. Let's move it forward. Let's get ourselves 2 goals, minimum 1. Brentford have only won 1 in their last 11 matches. In comes a cross from Azpilicueta. It's headed behind by Ayer. And that will be another Chelsea corner. But we need to do something with these Chelsea corners. Like I said, 8 Chelsea corners. How many of them have not beaten the front post, though? At least 4, surely. At least 4 of them. It must be. It definitely must be. Chelsea... corner here, whipped in by Ziyech. That's a better ball in. It's headed on. Oh, I thought that was going to be headed towards the goal there. Is Rudy going to try to keep Ivan Toney in that corner? He most certainly is, and he's given away a foul there. Antonio Rudiger. Pep said in one of his pressers that football should be played at walking. Jesus, if I can get my words out, that football should be played at walking pace. I mean, Eriksen does. He's so intelligent with the way he just wanders into space. If you look at Messi as well, he's another player who just wanders into space. He creates the space for himself by just holding back and stepping back. And I wouldn't say he's been overly active in this game, but just when they needed him. Just when they needed him. Here's Ivan Toney into Mbeumo again, and they're through again, and it's Janelt again, and it's 3-1! What is going on? Janelt's just got himself a second! Are you kidding me? What is going on? This isn't West Bromwich Albion, we don't have to crumble! What is going on here? And in the space of 11 minutes, 12 minutes, Brentford have gone from being 1-0 down to 3-1 up. What is going on? It's a brilliant ball through from Ivan Toney. He's definitely onside. Who's marking the runner? Kante, what are you doing? He's your runner. He's run off the back of Rudiger, between Rudiger and Kante. Who is picking him up? I'm sorry, Mendy, you should do better. What is going on? God, we're making Brentford look like prime moments Barcelona. Jesus wept, man. What is going on here? What is going on? Now Chelsea definitely have a task to do. Jesus Christ, man. What is going on? What on God's green earth is going on right now? Can we not and pretend we did? Like, it's only his 4th goal of the season. He's doubled his goal tally, Jan Eltas, today. What is going on? Are you kidding me? What minute is that goal? 61st. Jesus wept, man. Talk about a comeback and a half. You don't have to run down players in and out of possession. When you press out of possession, you don't have to run at players. You just need to be in certain zones. Definitely do. Jesus Christ. Azpilicueta finds Kante. Kante should have shot there. Instead, it opts to go towards Mount. Here's Ziyech. We could do with a moment of genius from Ziyech to get us back into this game. Ziyech clips it in, looking towards Havertz. It's headed clear by Brentford once again. There's a handball in there from Rudiger. Rudiger seems to be the only player playing at the moment. Here is Timo Werner. Out to Kante at the edge of the box, and that's managed to go straight into the hands of Raya. What is going on? I genuinely have no clue what is going on. What a touch that is from Ivan Toney. Just slightly got away from him there. Chelsea need to book their ideas up in this second half. I tell you what, it has been shambolic. They've just switched off. I've been speaking about Chelsea's attitude so much over the last few months. Literally from December. And it's come back to bite us on the backside once again. I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. And the question is, where is the talent to bring off the bench? We're not going to bring on Romelu Lukaku, surely. What's he going to do? Pretend to jump for 30 minutes of the game? If he brings him on, I'm done with this game, I tell you what. Azpilicueta cuts inside, he takes a shot, it's blocked there by Ethan Pinnock, falls to Rico Henry, and Nordgaard's able to clear that one up towards Toney, but Toney's given the ball away there, and he's chopped down Mason Mount there, and that might be a yellow card for the striker for Brentford. That being said, I'm sure he won't be too bothered when his team's 3-0 up against the European champions. 3-1 up, sorry. Mateo Kovacic is going to be coming on. Oh my God, Romelu Lukaku's coming on. Why are we bringing on Lukaku? Stick me up front. I'll do a better job than Romelu Lukaku. Why? Kovacic is coming on for Werner. And I'm assuming that'll be Kai Havertz coming off for Romelu Lukaku. Or it's Kante. Kante's coming off for Lukaku. Why are we bringing on Lukaku? I don't think I've seen the man run all season. I've watched literally every game for Chelsea this season. I don't think I've seen him run once. What is... Reece James whips in this corner. It might fall to Havertz. Is that in? Is that offside? Oh, it's offside. It's offside. Havertz says it's not. It has gone in the back of the net. I'm sure it'll get checked. Oh, they've given it for handball. They've given it handball. It'll get checked. It most certainly will. Is he offside? Havertz is definitely not offside. Does it hit his hand then? Oh, does it hit his hand? We could have a game on our hands. Does that hit Havertz's hand or is... Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're going to give it. Oh, they've not given it. Oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, it's easy to say, but we've definitely needed that. I tell you what, we would have definitely needed that. That would have at least given us just half an inch, half a whip of the game. Just something to cling on to. What is going on, Chelsea Football Club? And why have we got Romelu Lukaku coming onto the pitch right now? If you haven't already, guys, and you're enjoying this stream and enjoying my pain, do be sure to smash that like button for us and do hit subscribe. I cannot believe what we are seeing right now. Chelsea 3-1 down after taking the lead in the 48th minute. After 61 minutes, find themselves 3-1 down. What is going on? What is going on? This could be worse too, says Wiki. It most certainly could. It could have been worse in the first half, Wiki. Definitely could. Running is part of it, but we overhype how important it is. I'm not saying that we don't have to, just technically the positions are far more important, absolutely. If you have someone like Kante, though, it's like finding, like, the running's important if you can find that next level of someone who does the running. For example, a Kante who's able to break down the play wherever, usually on the best of days. But someone such as an Eriksen, if someone else is doing that in your team and putting on the pressure, 4-1 to Bayern Munich for Philippe if he's watching. Yeah, if he's able to put on that pressure and then just allow someone like an Eriksen to build into this game, then it just works. It works brilliantly. The average player at the Prem runs, at Prem level runs 10 to 12k. Most are short repeated sprints, even Man City. Yeah, it is mental. Like, you don't realise actually quite how far they've run. Rudiger's going to line up another one here, and it's taken a deflection, gone into the hands of Raya. Admittedly, I can't complain that we've taken a shot after that first one. If you can do a better job than Lukaku, why do you only have 5 likes, you blab? I could do a better job than Lukaku. It's not the point. It is not the point. I'm not being paid 300 grand a week to stand up front and not jump for a ball when it comes in, Tom lad. I am not being paid 300 grand a week. I tell you what. And Philippe says, yeah, excited. Good to see you, Philippe. Oh, that goal kick. I don't know what happened there. Oh, hang on. What is going on here? The highlights are really bad here, and it's fallen to Havertz, and Havertz is through. He's not in. Oh, he's gone wide again. It's not going to be Chelsea's day, I tell you what. I tell you what. It's not going to be Chelsea's day, is it? Jesus wept, man. It is not going to be Chelsea's day. Oh, my God, man. Why has that just changed to 8 minutes? I don't know why it's done that. Let me update my timer. What is going on, ladies and gents? What is going on? Let me just pause that and do... How do I do it? How do I do it? 0 HH that. There we are. And then there we are, at least it's the right time. Doesn't just randomly say 8 minutes. Sorted and updated. 20 minutes for Chelsea here. 20 minutes for Chelsea here to get themselves back into this game as Rudiger gives a foul away on Mbeumo. Chelsea in the mud. They most certainly are, Lewis, mate. It's been a poor game. Poor game. Great to see you in the chat, mate. It's been awful. Like the first half, and I'm sure Wiki will agree with me because he's been chatting the whole way through to me with this. First half, Chelsea were lucky to be at 0-0. Rudiger scores a worldie. You're like, right, okay, this could be it. This, Chelsea have weathered the storm. Can they go on and improve? They just switch off. The mentality there, all wrong from Chelsea. All wrong. And now they've got to show fight back. They've got to show grit and they've got to show determination. And yes, it is a really poor finish from Kai Havertz there. A really, really poor finish. I cannot believe it. How was this game turned on its head that quickly as well? Who is going to be the hero for Chelsea? I need a hero! Chelsea most certainly do at this current moment in time. God, today could even get worse. Today could even get worse. It is a mental game. I don't know how. We're at 3-1. It's been an interesting first what, 25 minutes to this half. We've got 20 minutes left. Chelsea not out of it, but they need a goal sooner rather than later. They need a goal sooner rather than later, I tell you what. The longer they leave it, the more difficult they make it for themselves. But Brentford, they're just pressing so high up, and like Loftus-Cheek here is being pressed by Rico Henry. Like Henry's just come in there and ran into the centre of midfield to put a press on. They're all working together. Are we missing Jorginho in the middle? Potentially we're missing a calm head. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't know what we're missing. That's better from Lukaku. Good chest down there into Kai Havertz. Here's Reece James. He's looking forward, looking like he's going to try cross one in. And what is that? Miscommunication there from Reece James, who's tried to play it to Kovacic and played it straight back to Brentford. Fortunately, Hakim Ziyech jogging on the spot to get the ball back. Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Let's have something creative. There's not been any penetration in this game, really. The goal, like I say, coming from a worldie from Antonio Rudiger. Lewis as Timo the hero. He's just been subbed off. Timo Werner has, so he's not even going to be able to come on. Loftus-Cheek needs to be sold. I love him, but is he going to be able to play next season, especially if Conor Gallagher comes back? Probably not. Of course, we've got Billy Gilmore as well, who's probably more suited to the role he's currently in, but who knows? Who knows? If you are enjoying this stream, guys, or enjoying my pain, whatever it might be, do be sure to smash that like button and do hit subscribe as well. That would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that for us. Kovacic driving into a little bit of space, drops it off to Ziyech, who's gone out onto this left-hand side. Chelsea looking like they're playing with more of a 3 at the back at the moment, with Ziyech going out onto that left-hand side as the natural left footer. Obviously not ideal, though, for him in an attacking sense either, and Mason Mount's played that one behind him. Here's Reece James. James into Aspilicueta, back into Reece James again. Can we do something with it? There's no one in the middle. Lukaku's the only man in the middle, though, because Havertz has come out. Rudiger clips one forward, looking for Romelu Lukaku, and I tell you what, Janssen had him in his back pocket there. He was not getting away at all. He's not the guy. Don't think he's been awful, but he's just not offering anything. He doesn't offer anything that anyone else doesn't in particular. I was hoping for a good game today from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because I think he could still. I think he has the attributes of a top player. But at the moment, he's just not the top player. They're just going through all these goal times, and it's literally mental how quickly this game has turned on its head. I cannot believe it. Thiago Silva into Kai Havertz. Come on, Chelsea, let's push forward. Into Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic looking for Mount, and that's just played behind there, and that's taking a deflection, but it's fallen to Kovacic at the edge of the box, who tries to bend one, and that's high wide and not really at all handsome from Mateo Kovacic. Going into the final 15 minutes as well here. Havertz should have scored, man. He should have scored that 1v1. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. He should have scored that. What's going on in the rest of the games? I've been completely out of the rest of the games at the moment. Still 2-0 in the City game, 2-0 to Wolves still. Leeds and Southampton is still 1-1, and Norwich are still holding Brighton as well, if that is correct, or is that not updated? No, it is correct. Wow. I mean, I can't say anything because we're 3-1 down to Brentford, but wow. I'm not really in any position to speak about who should be doing better. Kovacic drives into a little bit of space. Oh, and has he been tackled by Loftus-Cheek there? What is going on here, Chelsea? Come on, lads. And Mbeumo goes to Ivan Toney. Can't take away from the performance, though. Oh my gosh. That deflection there, I thought I was taking it into the back of the net. Can't take away from the performance, though, of Brentford, and specifically Mbeumo, who's got himself 2 assists in this game, and how quickly they came out the blocks following that goal. They made the most of the fact that Chelsea have had a poor attitude this season. They've had a really poor attitude this season, Chelsea have, and you know, it's showing it today. They scored, they were like, oh my god, we scored a worldie, forgot that actually there's more to do in their job. And Brentford took advantage of that. Brentford have most certainly taken advantage of that. The corner there, it was headed by Ivan Toney, but headed into the back of a Chelsea player. Can Reece James keep that one on? Not quite. Come on, Chelsea. Come on. Before I sink into a depression of sorts. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. Yeah, he has. I totally agree. Mbeumo has linked up the play and held up the ball really, really well, I must say. Havertz tries to flip one around the corner there. Oh, was that a jog from Lukaku? Yeah, it might have been. Might have been a jog from Lukaku there. Honestly, man. Honestly, this is doing my head in. I cannot lie. I just want Chelsea just to do something, anything better. How long left is 15 minutes. 15 minutes, Lewis. So still time for Chelsea to get this back. I think a draw is more optimistic. I mean, anything's more optimistic than a 3-1 loss to a relegation battling side when you're the champions of Europe, but... Oh my gosh, it's pinball in the box as well. Chelsea can't quite get it out. He falls at the edge of the box and that's hit whoever that was on the ground there. I think it was Aspilicueta on the ground. Laughing faces and titles contenders says 6 times. Honestly. We all have poor games during the season, but Chelsea, what is this, man? What is this? It was chaos in the Chelsea box there as they tried to clear. Absolute chaos. You're officially in a top 4 race. How do you feel? I think my face tells you all it feels 6 times. It's sad. 15 minutes for Chelsea to score 3 goals and keep us ahead of the Bees. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not overly optimistic. I mean, to be fair, we were almost in the top 4 race anyway. It's just... You don't want to... If you lose against a City or a Chelsea or a City or a Liverpool, you don't mind because they're a team above you. But it's when you drop points against teams such as Brentford, like we will almost certainly have done today, that's when it becomes annoying. That's when it becomes annoying. But who knows, eh? Who knows? I'm assuming you're a Liverpool fan. Do you reckon you can win the title 6 times? Let us know. Let us know. Rudiger into Mateo Kovacic. Here is Kai Havertz. Ziyech, who's playing at left wing back, which does not fill me with too much confidence. Ziyech drops it back. Rudiger rolls it over to Aspilicueta. Into Mason Mount. Mount tries to face forwards. He rolls it into Reece James. We could do a bit of Reece James magic right now. Aspilicueta's giving the ball away again. Who was that going to? There was no one there. Are they seeing ghosts or something? I don't know. What is going... Am I the only one who realises that Chelsea are playing in blue right now? Because they seem to just be giving the ball away. Havertz finds Reece James. Come on, Chelsea. Let's have something. Come on. Be a bit cutthroat. Brentford defending well, holding Chelsea. In comes the ball. Oh my gosh. The ball from Ziyech and it was flicked on by Havertz. Havertz is so close. He's so close with that header. That's so close from that header. Just literally half a yard wide from Kai Havertz there. For some reason, Havertz is actually doing better now that Lukaku's on. Not because Lukaku's doing anything. I think it's just because they feel threatened by the fact that Lukaku is on. So there's now a man marking Lukaku constantly, which has meant that Havertz is dropping in. It's just a shame that Havertz hasn't been able to convert one of these chances. And when he did, of course, it was the handball. Kovacic rolls it down the line again, looking for Havertz, who tries to keep it on, but it goes out for a goal kick. Trippier clear of Reece James. Don't be silly, Lewis. Yes, I am, mate, and maybe it all comes down to the game at the Etihad. Do you think the protest had anything to do with the performance, as in today? No, definitely. I can't see it why it will have. But, I think it will come down to that. But who knows, eh? Who knows if it's a draw? It could make it for a lot more entertaining. I'm kind of hoping Liverpool can do one over City, but who knows? Who knows, eh? Yeah, the protest shouldn't affect him like this. Should not affect him like this whatsoever. There's no excuses for the response that Chelsea had after going 1-0 up. No excuses whatsoever. Poor, really poor from Chelsea. The response to going 1-0 up, yes, Rudiger scored a worldie. Yes, you can be a little bit giddy, but the response was awful. When we went 3-1 down, we had a little bit of a response, but since then, again, Brentford defending for their lives. They know how to do it. We saw it against Liverpool earlier on in the season. I see 6 times as Shafter just mentioned in that game. But they know how to defend when they want to, and they know how to hit people on the counter-attack. We are now where Brentford want them completely, because that might fall to Rudiger at the edge of the box, and he's tried to do a bit of a scissor kick, but takes a deflection. In comes the cut cross again, this time from Ziyech, and falls to Rudiger, and for some reason Rudiger has taken the most shots this game from a Chelsea player, and I think that sums up where Chelsea are with their attacking threat at the moment. It has to come from elsewhere. It's just the truth. He changed our team. I will say James is good, but not as good as Trippier. No. For me, Reece James is shoulders clear. Head and shoulders clear. Trippier is a better footballer than me, Keogh and Kraft. It wasn't hard to change the team. That is a very good point. You are comparing it to Manquillo and Kraft, which, is difficult. 3 goals in 12 minutes, that's poor. I know. That's what I mean. That's what I mean 6 times. It's been ridiculous, man. 3 goals in 12 minutes, and considering we scored as well a minute before, it's not good enough. Not good enough. Come on, Chelsea. Let's have something then. Havertz puts a bit of a press on there, and the Brentford fans and players appealing that was a foul from Kai Havertz, but the referee's given a corner here for Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea, let's see it. I can't believe how giddy I was as well when I saw that Rudiger goal. Hindsight, isn't it? Hindsight's brilliant for you, isn't it? So frustrating, so frustrating. Losing to Brentford at home 3-1 ain't to everyone. We beat Brentford 3-0 at home. We also drew to them 3-3, so... Mason Mount whips in the cross, and that's calmly claimed there by Raya. He was under pressure from Thiago Silva. You should have got the penalty, I must say, Lewis. You should have got a penalty against Chelsea. I don't know what possessed them not to give that in the first place. There was obviously the red card situation with Kai Havertz, and I can see why they didn't give it, but it's like close to the line. It's similar to the Mane one against Chelsea a few years ago. It might have even been this year. It was this year, wasn't it? It was in that 2-2 game because Mane didn't see the player. He jumps up, and he's jumped up as you do typically with your arms out. But you definitely should have had a penalty. I don't know how you didn't get the penalty in that one, if I'm brutally honest with you. Who picked up more points versus them? I mean, we've still got 5 minutes, Fraser. Don't count your chickens, lad. Don't count your chickens. I said it'd be a good game. Imagine real Tom trying to tell me that this wouldn't be a good game. Not in the way I hoped it to be a good game, of course, but Can't say it hasn't been full of drama and excitement. A brief moment of excitement, very brief. But can't say it hasn't been full of it. It definitely has. Ziyech wins the ball back there and the referee's given a foul there. Who's our next game? That was a big question. That was a good question. Let me find out for you 6 times. Oh, I cannot believe that. How have they... That'll be our first loss since the game against Manchester City as well. At the beginning of January. We've lost to... What have we lost to? Is it City twice this season and West Ham and now Brentford? Like, West Ham... That West Ham game, yeah, it was poor. But, you know, it's West Ham. They were in a good run of form at the time. But this is embarrassing, man. This is really embarrassing. Real Madrid in midweek, which I now have zero confidence for. And then Southampton. In comes the free kick from Christian Eriksen, who played short instead, and it's clipped over in towards Pinnock. There's a bit of chaos, and then, oh my God. Visser, who has just come on, literally 2 minutes ago, has just made it Brentford 4, Chelsea 1. Honestly, what is that defending? What is that defending from that corner there? What are you doing? Like, just put a foot through it, lad. Rudiger, Thiago Silva, you don't talk. Aspilicueta tries to put his body in the way. Who was marking Visser in the first place? You've all left your men. And then Visser has the easiest job on the whole pitch. He just slams it home. Just shout, Rudiger. Just shout, Thiago Silva. What is wrong with you? God help us against Real Madrid, because if we do this against Real Madrid, I tell you what, I don't even think I'll continue doing these bloody live streams if it. Honest to God, man. 4-1 against Brentford, who have been in really, really poor form over the last few weeks. They've not been in the greatest of form for Brentford, and I think Brentford fans will tell you that as well. But what on earth, Chelsea Football Club, is going on here? What on earth? Don't try and play football now that you're 4-1 down. Don't even bother. I don't care. End the bloody game. How are we losing 4-1 to relegation fodder? How are we losing 4-1? God help us against Real Madrid in midweek, because I tell you what, there is no chance on earth that we are progressing to the next round if we play like this. I mean, Chelsea played so good today as well. I mean, no. I cannot believe it. I cannot and will not believe the fact that Chelsea are 4-1 down against them right now. What is going on? There's just been no penetration. Oh my God, Lukaku. Oh, yeah. Of course he doesn't. Of course he can't get his shot off because it's Romelu Lukaku and he's like a bloody truck. He turns like... Hopefully it's all of Thomas Tuchel's tactic to try and suss out Real Madrid in midweek and make them think they've got an easy game. But what on God's green earth has this second half been from Chelsea? Yeah, exactly, Wiki. It's one thing losing 4-1, but at home, to lose 4-1 in front of your own fans, whilst Chelsea are in a position that they are, where they struggle to get fans because of them being frozen. They've got fans who are on the edge. The new owners look like they aren't going to be the owners that we want and that we desire for the club. And then the team comes out and puts in this performance. You've got to be joking me. You have got to be joking me. I don't understand what has gone on today with Chelsea Football Club. And fair enough, Brentford, you've been absolutely fantastic. Me and Wiki spoke about it this morning, didn't we? This morning? Earlier on in this game. God, it feels like this morning. It's been that longer second half. But we spoke about it at the beginning of this game. Chelsea looked slow. They didn't look penetrative. And Brentford came out the blocks firing. Chelsea got away with a few in that first half. Then we got our piece of luck. Rudiger, brilliant strike, great goal. But then how do you react? Against teams like these, you've got to react well. And Chelsea, my God, this is the definition of not reacting well. And that's coming from me, who's acting like a kid who's had his toys taken off him and chucked his toys out the pram. It has been absolutely shambolic this second half. And I'm pretty tempted to say this is probably worse than the game against West Bromwich Albion. At least against West Brom last season, we had the save and grace that we had someone sent off. And that's why we conceded 5. But he's currently 4-1, and we've got a full bloody strength side out. What? I don't understand. I really don't understand. How you can go from winning the amount of games that Chelsea have in a row. They've been unbeaten since January 15th. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. This has got to be. And I don't want to take credit away from Brentford, because don't get me wrong, Brentford have been fantastic. The way that they have responded in the second half, especially to going 1 goal behind, has been brilliant. Don't get me wrong, if I was to put my neutral hat on and take off the Chelsea bias hat and pop that one over to one side for the time being, it has been brilliant by Brentford. They have pressed hard, they've moved the ball fast, and they've taken the opportunities when they have arisen. And I cannot believe it. I cannot believe how positive Brentford have been, especially after going 1-0 down. And they saw that Chelsea was sleeping, and they made the most of it. And absolutely, those Brentford fans should absolutely be jumping with joy this afternoon. There's big, beaming smiles of pride on their face, and as it should be. They have been brilliant. But Chelsea, how far have you fallen in this second half? How bloody far have you fallen? Because I tell you what, it has been absolutely shambolic. And Fools on the Road, afternoon to you. And I've also seen Jacob coming in as well, so afternoon to you. I think this was the international break that caused all of this. We can only hope. We can only hope. Like earlier, Liverpool were a bit slow. But a sign of a good team and a world-class team is the fact that when the going gets tough, that they keep on pushing and they keep on doing well. Because, you know, Chelsea are a side that should be at the top of the table. It doesn't matter if there's been an international break. It doesn't matter one bit. Or it shouldn't, at least. We are on 4 minutes of added time here. There has been just a break because Havertz and I didn't work out which Brentford player it was. Just both of them went down holding their heads. So we've maybe got an extra minute or so of football left to be played at Stamford Bridge. But quite honestly, if the referee just blew the game up now, I would not be disappointed one bit. But honestly, Chelsea fans, if there's Chelsea fans watching today, do be sure to get in the chat and let us know your thoughts and feelings around today's game. Brentford fans as well, if there is any of you. I mean, first of all, fair play. You've done fantastically, but let us know your thoughts. How proud are you of your side for the performance they've put in, specifically in the second half, and to be honest with you, all 90 minutes. And oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't understand what is going on here today at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are losing helps, but I know the fight is with Spurs and United, really. Yeah, you can just apply pressure on us now. You're definitely behind us with an opportunity to put the pressure on us now, Arsenal are. And to be honest with you, I don't... Yeah, good timing, Max, good timing. Just come back and holy moly. Exactly, Max. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that Chelsea Football Club find themselves 4-1 down against Brentford. And that is no disrespect to Brentford, especially after going 1-0 in the 48th minute, for us then to find ourselves 3-1 down in the 61st minute. What is going on? What is going on? A fairy tale return to Stamford Bridge for the former Spurs man Christian Eriksen. But Jesus Christ, man. How far did Chelsea fall? I imagine we've got one more kick here and then it will be full time at Stamford Bridge. And there it is. It is full time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Brentford 4. A scoreline that I don't think anyone predicted. I don't think anyone predicted this to go to 4-1. And if you did, give me the lotto numbers. But that is a vital 3 points for Brentford in their relegation scrap. And a massive, massive 3 points missed for Chelsea in their fight to, well, maintain that top 4 position. It's a huge 3 points missed. And now, Arsenal, you must be, you're lining up Chelsea and you're looking at them going, we've got a chance here. We most certainly have a chance. Let me know your thoughts and feelings around this game, though, guys. I really do appreciate those who have stopped by and have been watching sporadically. What is the word? And throughout as well. We're getting 10 subscribers, so if you haven't already subscribed, guys, can I make you make sure that you have and smash that subscribe button for us. Can we get ourselves to 640? As you can see, I've been a sore loser today, but if you could put a smile on my face, that would be absolutely brilliant. If you could put a smile on my face and help us get to 640. But honestly, I like to take off my Chelsea hat for a little bit, but what a game it has been. What a game it has been. If that had happened to Liverpool or City or Spurs or Arsenal, I would have thoroughly enjoyed that game. And unfortunately for me, it's come to Chelsea. But I guess that's the luck of the draw sometimes. I guess that is the luck of the draw. And, you've got to make do. You've got to make do and you've got to take your opportunities. And Chelsea didn't really create too many clear-cut opportunities throughout that game whatsoever. I'm going to try and get up the SofaScore website as well so we can have a look at a few match ratings for Chelsea and Brentford. And almost importantly, look at that momentum bar, because, well, let me switch screens. Let me switch screens because this will tell you all you need to know. If you can see that momentum bar, where is it? On the left. Look how much that is dominated by Chelsea. But the opportunities just weren't created. They really weren't created for Chelsea today. And they've been the catalyst of their own downfall. They switched off following that wonder strike from Antonio Rudiger. But they just didn't create clear-cut opportunities. Like Thiago Silva, Rudiger, they got in each other's way for that fourth goal. They caused themselves problems. Chelsea gave the ball up high, gave it away up high for Janelt's first goal, and they also gave the ball away as well and were counter-attacked very easily on the second goal for Christian Eriksen. And so you sit there and you wonder, Chelsea, what have you been playing at in this game? What have you been playing at? Because, look at that defence for what do you call it? They've gone from my head now. Brentford. I don't know why they've gone from my head. They should be stuck in my head rent-free. But you look I don't think there has been any particular player on that pitch, other than maybe Mbeumo and, of course, Janelt for scoring the goals. But there hasn't really been someone who you've gone wow, he has carried them. They've just all put in this brilliant team performance. They've been steady away the whole time, working hard, putting the shift in, and the results. You can see the results for yourself. Chelsea 1, Brentford 3. It is absolutely gobsmacking and unbelievable to me that Chelsea can go 1-0 up in the 48th minute of play and find themselves not 10 minutes later 3-1 down. How? How does that happen? I really don't know. And Wiki says Rico Henry was really good. He was. I think he did really well because he kept Ziyech to a minimum in that first half. And then, of course, kept Mason Mount very quiet as well. A 6.8 match rating. You know, you look at that. Chelsea, how poor are those match ratings? Kai Havertz should have had 2 or 3 and had some poor finishes. But there's opportunities there for Chelsea to score. 70% possession, 21 total shots. But I think what is going to sum up this game down to a T is the comparison of this stat here, this possession stat, if I can highlight it for you, this possession stat to this total shot stat. Chelsea had 70% of the possession, yet they still managed to concede 17 shots in that game. How is that possible? How? I'll tell you how it's possible. Midfield not working hard enough, being bypassed easily by Brentford, being hit on the counter-attack easily, Brentford being clinical. But it shouldn't. They're the champions of Europe. No way, in a game that has 70% possession to Chelsea, should Brentford be getting 17 shots on target. On goal. Let alone then scoring 4 of the 6 shots on target that they have. It is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Big chances for, scored all of them. Scored absolutely all of them. Big chances for Chelsea too. And I'm assuming Rudiger's one doesn't come underneath that. Because, you know, it was a strike from range. It was a worldy goal. Champions of Europe and champions of the world. But you can't beat Brentford. Like how, honestly, how far do you have to fall to do this? How far do you have to fall? And at the beginning of this game, if anyone was tuned in at the beginning, I was talking about Timo Werner. And, you know, how I like him as a player. But today, he's been so goddamn quiet. He's been so quiet all afternoon. And I would say thank God he got taken off. But Lukaku didn't do anything when he came on. Here we are, guys. Let's make this a little bit more entertaining. Romelu Lukaku came on in the 65th minute, ladies and gents. How many touches do we think Lukaku had of the ball in 35 minutes of football? Get your predictions in the chat. No cheating, but let me know, and we will get to that in a second. I expect to see you guys flood in the chat, letting me know how many you think they have. Who had the starters had the least touches? Interesting question. Interesting. Havertz has, I don't know how to do this quickly, 56. That does not surprise me. He's been involved. I assume that Ziyech has been given a boost of his rating. 86. Mason Mount is 61. Aspilicueta is 108. I doubt it'll be any of the defenders. Ivan Toney. Oh, if I can do it. 54. Less than 10, says Wiki. What am I predicting, says Max. You're predicting how many touches Romelu Lukaku had of the ball in 35 minutes. Mbeumo. Oh my. Mbeumo had 29 touches all game. 29. 2 of those were assists. 2 of those were assists. And 4 of them was creating big chances. How? I just don't get it. I don't get how Chelsea have been pulled apart that easily there. Werner might have had, he had 25. Is that how many it said? I can't remember how many it said on here. He's got 35, Timo Werner did, so he had more than Mbeumo. I'm assuming 42 though for Nordgaard in midfield. 34, Jesus. Like, you look at it, because they've not had the possession, they've not touched the ball. But when they've had the ball, They've done so well. But here is the prediction. Max has gone with 17. No, lower, he'll go 13. Wiki's gone less than 10. I'm going to go, my prediction for number of touches Romelu Lukaku had in 35 minutes of football, I'm going with 6 is how many I'm going with. Here we go, ladies and gents. Sorry, 25 minutes of football, if I can do my maths correctly. No, 35 minutes. Nope, 25. I'm stupid. 25 minutes of football. Here we are. 11 touches. Mate, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Honestly, man. Honestly. What has gone on today for Chelsea Football Club? What has gone on today? It has been absolutely mental to me how this has even happened today. You look at these touch maps as well. Like, they're so spread out, but it shows how Brentford were just spread everywhere, weren't they? They were just spread everywhere. Ridiculous how Chelsea have lost today. I am absolutely fuming with that result. And now, if you just look at what that means for the table, Brentford, they managed to leapfrog Newcastle United, which is obviously a positive for them. Newcastle in a good bit of form. That being said, lost the last 2 games against Leeds and Everton, and have a big game against Spurs. But I mean, am I backing Newcastle this weekend? I probably am, to make sure that Chelsea don't get in a top 4 scrap of themselves. Arsenal, who do Arsenal have this weekend? Because Chelsea now, rather than looking forward and going, you know what, if we stay 6 points behind whoever's in second, City or Liverpool, you know, that would be decent come the end of the season. Chelsea now are looking behind them, looking over their own shoulder and going, actually, we're in trouble now. And Arsenal have Crystal Palace, so maybe, but that's shocking. If you have the majority of possession, the opposition should be less likely to score. That midfield was the problem. They were running through free at times. I know, Wiki. I know. And you saw from that touch map of Norgard up here, like, they're so far spread across everything, and they're just picking up the ball wherever. Like, they just pick up the ball wherever Chelsea give them the opportunity to. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand what has gone on in this game for Chelsea Football Club. It seems a shame to leave you, but I am hungry. I want some tea, and to be honest with you, I want to go sit and sulk, because that was a shambolic Chelsea performance there. And, you know, you come back from the international break and you don't expect your club side to fall that far from grace. You just don't. And today has been one of the worst performances I've seen in a Chelsea shirt in the last 2 seasons. Like I said, the saving grace from the West Brom game was the fact, definitely was the fact, that actually Chelsea had a man sent off. Today, we had full strength, we had everyone. I can't comprehend it. I cannot wrap my brain around it at the moment. I just cannot. I really cannot. Anyway, I will leave you guys here as it's nearly 5:10, and then we'll be moving on to the late kickoff. But if you guys do want to stick around, be sure to smash that like button for us, and do hit subscribe as well. Thank you for the support on this stream. I've thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not sure is the correct phrase, but I've at least enjoyed the chat. Had this game, like I say, had this game fallen to a Manchester United or a Liverpool or someone like that, I'd have been so giddy. But it just happens to happen to Chelsea. And June's coming in to give me a bit of banter. Good to see you, June. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and Chris are both okay. But I'll conclude this here, guys. I do appreciate all of those who have stuck around in this stream for tonight. Like I say, make sure to stick around on the SRL channel. Do smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, guys, stay safe.